I noticed the silence before I noticed anything else. Not the kind you get at night, when calls slow down. This was different. It felt wrong. The clock above the console flipped to 2200 hours right as I sat down. The day's shift. Guy didn't even look at me when he stood up. He just muttered something like, "Lines are yours," and walked out too fast. No small talk. No briefing. No complaints about the fire. That should have been my first warning, because dispatchers always complain. I pulled the headset over my ears and adjusted the mic. The room smelled like warm plastic and stale coffee. Screens glowed in front of me. Call logs, maps, evacuation routes, unit tracking. Everything looked normal. Too normal. Outside, somewhere far past the walls, the wildfire was still moving. You could see it earlier from the parking lot. A dull orange glow sitting low on the horizon like something breathing. But inside, nothing. No chatter. No overlapping calls. No panicked voices asking for directions. Just one open line. Channel 7. Evacuation dispatch. I tapped the console. Dispatch online. Night shift active. My voice sounded louder than it should have. It echoed a little in my own ears. That's when I noticed something else. There was no background noise. No distant radios. No static hum. No crackle from other channels bleeding through. Just clean silence. I leaned forward and checked the meters. They were active, live, waiting. So why wasn't anything coming through? I scrolled through the recent call log. There were entries, dozens of them, maybe hundreds, all within the last hour. Evac requests, fire line updates, transport coordination. But the time stamps, they didn't make sense. 2201, 2201, 2201, every single one. I frowned. System glitch. I muttered, "It happens sometimes when the server desyncs." You restart the log, refresh the feed, and it fixes itself. So I did that, cleared the panel, reopened the channel. For a second, I thought it worked. A burst of static cracked through the headset, sharp enough to make me flinch. Then, nothing again, but not empty this time. It felt like something was still there, like a line that hadn't fully disconnected. I adjusted the volume, just a little higher. That's when I heard it. Not a voice, not exactly. More like air moving, slow, uneven, like someone breathing too close to the mic. I froze. "Caller, identify." I said, trying to keep my voice steady. No response. Just that sound again. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Too long. Way too long. I glanced at the call indicator. No incoming signal. No active connection. The system showed nothing. And yet, I was hearing it. I tapped the console harder this time. "If you can hear me, confirm your location." The breathing stopped. Not faded. Stopped, like something noticed I was listening. A second passed. Then two. Then a click. The line went dead. I pulled the headset off halfway, staring at the screen. No record of the call. No trace. Just the same frozen timestamp staring back at me. 2201. Over and over. I swallowed and leaned back in the chair. "Okay," I said quietly. "Okay, just noise." Radios pick up weird things during fires. Interference. Heat distortion. Cross signals. That's what I told myself. That's what I needed it to be. I reached for the coffee left behind by the last guy. It was cold, bitter, and tasted like ash. I didn't remember the air smelling like smoke when I came in, but now it did. Faint, like something had burned a long time ago and never really went out. I set the cup down and focused on the map. Highway 37 was marked as an active evacuation route. It ran straight through the outer zone, cutting past a cluster of small houses and heading towards safer ground. At least, that's what the system said. But the road line looked wrong. It wasn't straight. Not anymore. It curved slightly in the middle, like someone had dragged it off course. I zoomed in, the map adjusted, and the curve was gone. Just a straight line again. I stared at it for a few seconds, longer than I should have. Then the radio clicked. This time it was real. "Dispatch, this is Unit 14. You copy." Relief hit me fast. Too fast. Copy, Unit 14. Go ahead. His voice sounded normal. Tired, maybe, but grounded. Human. We're clearing the east side. Fire's moving slower than expected. Almost like it's holding. Holding. I repeated. Yeah, he said. Wind's pushing west, but the fire's not following. It's just staying put. I typed notes into the system. Grateful for something real to focus on. Any injuries? Negative. Evac progress? A pause. Not long, but long enough to feel strange. Dispatch, he said slowly. You got anyone routed through Highway 37 right now? I glanced at the map. The line flickered. Just for a second. Affirmative, I said. Multiple vehicles. Why? Another pause. This one longer. Then, no, you don't. The words landed wrong. Flat. Certain. I straightened in my chair. Unit 14 confirmed. There's nobody out here, he cut in. Road's empty. My eyes went back to the screen. The system still showed movement. Little icons, cars, moving along the route. Steady. Consistent. Visual mismatch. I said, more to myself than him. Could be a delay in the feed. Negative, he said. We've been sitting on this stretch for 10 minutes. No vehicles. No headlights. Nothing. The map flickered again. One of the icons stopped moving. Then another. Then all of them. Frozen. Right in the middle of Highway 37. I felt something tighten in my chest. Unit 14, I said carefully, move closer to marker point. Confirm status. There was a sound on his end. Not static. Something lower. Like tires rolling over gravel. We're already here, he said. Another pause. Then quieter. Dispatch. There's someone standing in the road. I leaned forward without realizing it. Described. He's just there, Unit 14 said. Not moving. My throat felt dry. Can you see any injuries? No. Any signs of distress? No. Then approach carefully, Anne. He's not facing us, he interrupted. The way he said it made my stomach drop. Repeat that. He's standing in the middle of the road, Unit 14 said, but he's turned the wrong way. Wrong way how? Another pause. Then he's facing the fire. The room felt smaller all of a sudden. The air thicker. Try verbal contact. I said. There was a muffled sound, like a door opening. Footsteps. Then Unit 14 again, a little farther from Mike. Sir, this is emergency services. You need to evacuate. Silence. Sir, can you hear me? Nothing. Then a faint sound came through the radio. Not from Unit 14. From somewhere else. Close to the mic. Breathing. Slow. Uneven. My fingers tightened on the console. Unit 14, I said, my voice lower now. Return to vehicle. No response. Unit 14 respond. Static. Then his voice came back, but different. Quieter. Like he was trying not to be heard. He's turning, he whispered. A chill ran through me. Get back in the vehicle. I said, he's not walking, Unit 14 said. I didn't understand. What do you mean? He's just turning, he said. Slow, like something's pulling him around. The breathing in my headset got louder, not from his end, from mine. I ripped one side of the headset off my ear, but I could still hear it. Faint. Behind me. I turned. The room was empty. Every chair, every console, no one there. Just me, and that sound. Inhale, pause, exhale. I snapped the headset back on. Unit 14 status. No answer. Then a new voice. Same channel. Same line. But not Unit 14. Dispatch, it said. My heart skipped. Identify yourself. A pause. Then, you sent them here. The voice sounded calm. Too calm. I need you to identify. You told them to take Highway 37. My eyes flicked to the map. The road line was bending again. Slowly, like it was being rewritten. Who is this? I whispered. Another pause. Then, you're still sending them. The breathing got louder, closer. I could feel it now. Not hear it. Feel it. Warm air against the side of my face. I didn't turn this time. I couldn't, because I already knew. If I did, I wouldn't be alone in that room anymore. The line clicked. Dead again. The map froze. All the vehicle icons disappeared. Every single one. As if they had never been there. I sat there for a long time after that. Not moving. Not speaking. Just watching the clock. 22:01. Still. Unchanged. And then the radio lit up again. Same channel. Same empty line. And before I could say anything, I heard my own voice. Soft. Whispering through the headset. Dispatch online, night shift active. I hadn't said it. Not this time. But something had. And it sounded exactly like me. The first thing I noticed was that she never stopped talking. Not even for a second. Hello, hello, please, someone, please. I'm still here. I didn't leave. I couldn't leave the road. It's not right. Her voice came through so fast it almost blurred into itself. No gaps. No pauses. No breath. I didn't even realize what was wrong at first. I was just relieved to hear someone. A real caller. A real voice. Something normal. I grabbed the headset tighter. Ma'am, slow down. I need your name. I can't see the road anymore was there. And now it's not there anymore. I try to turn around, but it keeps going forward. It keeps going the same way. Her words didn't break. They just kept pouring, like a recording playing at the wrong speed. Ma'am, I said again, firmer this time. Name and location. A tiny shift, just for a moment. Then, Rena, she said, my name is Rena. I'm on Highway 37. I was following your instructions. You told me to take this road. You said it was clear. My chest tightened. I never told her that. At least, I didn't remember telling her that. I glanced at the log. Still frozen. 22:01. Every entry. Every call. Rena, I said slowly, I need you to confirm your last known marker. I passed a sign that said 37, but then it said 36, and then it said 37 again, and I thought maybe I missed something, but the road didn't change. Her voice didn't shake. That was the strange part. People panic differently. They cry. They shout. They breathe hard. She didn't do any of that. She just continued. Smooth. Flat. Unbroken. Rena, are you alone in the vehicle? Yes, I was alone. I am alone. I think I am alone. I haven't seen anyone else for a long time, not since the car stopped moving. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Car stopped moving. Rena, listen to me carefully. I said, do you see any other vehicles right now? No. Any lights? No. Any structures? Houses? Trees? Yes. That made me pause. What kind of structures? I don't know, they look like houses, but they're not right there too close to the road. And they don't have doors facing me, they're just sides of houses like walls lined up watching. I felt something cold move through me. I pulled the map up again. Highway 37. The line flickered. For a second, it split into two, then three, then snapped back into one straight path. Rena, I said quietly, I need you to check something for me. Yes. Look at your rearview mirror. There was a pause. Not from her. From the world. For the first time since she started talking, her voice stopped. Just for half a second. Then, I don't want to do that. The way she said it, it wasn't fear. It was refusal. Like she already knew what she would see. Rena, I said, I need you to confirm your surroundings. I know what's behind me, she said. And then, without breathing, it wasn't there before. My grip tightened. What wasn't there? The man. The room felt colder. The man on the road, he wasn't there before. He wasn't there when I passed that sign. I would have seen him. I always check the mirrors. I always checked. Her voice sped up again. Faster. Still no breath. He's standing in the road behind me, but the car is still moving forward, and I can still see him in the mirror, and he's getting closer, but I'm not slowing down. My heart started to pound. Rena, maintain focus. I said, do not stop the vehicle. I didn't stop. I know, I said. Just keep driving. I am driving. I never stopped. I've been driving the whole time. Her words hit something inside me. Hard. How long have you been driving? I asked. I don't know. Estimate. I don't know. Her voice didn't change, didn't strain, didn't tire. It just kept going, like time didn't apply to her anymore. I checked the system again. Nothing. No record of her call. No vehicle tag. No GPS ping. Rena, I said, I'm not seeing your signal. I need you to verify your phone connection. I'm talking to you. I know, but the system isn't showing. I'm talking to you. The way she repeated it felt like a correction, not confusion. I swallowed. Okay, I said. Okay, that's fine. Just stay with me. The line crackled slightly. For a moment, I thought I heard something under her voice. A second layer, faint, like someone whispering at the same time. Rena, I said, lowering my voice, is anyone else in the car with you? No. A beat. Then, yes. My stomach dropped. Rena, he's not in the seat, she said. He's not in the seat. He's not in the seat. Her words started repeating now, not looping exactly, but circling. He's not in the seat. He's not in the seat. He's not. Rena, I snapped. Silence for half a second. Then she continued. He's outside, but he's also closer now. He's closer than the mirror. He's closer than he should be. I could hear something else now, not just her voice. A faint sound, like fabric shifting, or fingers brushing against something. Rena, I said slowly, I need you to look at the passenger seat. No. Rena, no. Her voice didn't break, didn't tremble. It stayed flat, steady, wrong. He's not there, she said. If I look, he will be there. And if he is there, then I'm not alone. And if I'm not alone, then I don't know how long he's been there. The air in the room felt heavy again, like before, like something was listening. Rena, I whispered, you need to breathe. I am breathing. No, you're not. I didn't say it out loud, but I knew it. She hadn't taken a single breath since the call started. Not one. And she was still talking, still going, still existing. That wasn't possible. Rena, I said, my voice tighter now. When was the last time you remember stopping the car? I didn't stop. Before this, I didn't stop. Before Highway 37. A pause, longer this time. Then, I don't remember getting on the road. The words settled slowly, like dust. Rena, I said, do you remember calling dispatch before this? No. Do you remember leaving your house? No. Do you remember? The line cracked, loud, sharp. I flinched, and for a second, just one, her voice changed. It dropped lower, not deeper, just wrong. You told me to come here. My throat tightened. I didn't. You told me it was safe. The map flickered violently. Highway 37 bent into a loop, a perfect circle. You said it was clear. I never. You're still saying it. The breathing came back. Not hers. Mine. Behind me. Closer now. I could feel it against my neck. Warm. Slow. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. I didn't turn. I couldn't. Rena, I whispered. Listen to me very carefully. I'm listening. If you see the man again, I see him. Do not let him reach the car. He's already closer. How close? He's not in the mirror anymore. My heart stopped. Where is he? A pause. Then, he's at the window. I shut my eyes for a second. Just 1 second. And in that second, I realized something. Something I didn't want to understand. Rena, I said quietly, are your doors locked? Yes. Are the windows closed? Yes. Then how? He's knocking. A soft sound came through the line. Tap, tap, tap. Not loud, not aggressive, just patient. Rena, I said, my voice barely steady. Do not respond. I'm not. Tap, tap, tap. He knows I can hear him, she said. Of course he does. I didn't say it, but I felt it because I could hear it too. Not through her line, through mine, behind me. Same rhythm, same slow patience. Tap, tap, tap. I clenched my fists. Rena, I said, ignore it. Just keep driving. I am driving. Good. I never stopped. I swallowed. Rena, if the car stops. It won't. You don't know that. I do. How? Because I already stopped. She didn't say it. But I heard anyway. Not in her voice. In mine, soft, whispering, right behind my ear. The tapping stopped. The breathing didn't. Dispatch, Rena said. Her voice was quieter now. Almost calm. Yes. He's not outside anymore. A cold wave moved through me. Where is he? The line went silent. Long enough to hurt. Then, he's breathing. My vision blurred slightly. Rena, he's breathing like you are. I couldn't move. Couldn't turn. Because now I knew, if I did, I wouldn't just hear it. I would see it. The line clicked. Dead. Again. The room went quiet. Too quiet. I sat there, frozen. Headset still on. Heart still racing. And then, soft, right behind me, a voice. My voice. Barely above a whisper. She's still on the line. I didn't reach for the console. I didn't check the system. Because I already knew. Somewhere, somehow, the call hadn't ended. And I was still connected. I shouldn't have sent the next car down that road. I knew something was wrong. I felt it sitting in my chest, heavy and quiet, like a warning I didn't want to understand. But the lines were still open, and people were still calling. That's the part no one tells you about this job. Even when things stop making sense, you don't get to stop. The next call came in almost immediately after Rena's line went dead. No delay, no ring, just a voice already there. Dispatch! We're leaving Sector C. Fire's moving fast. Need a clear route. A man this time, breathing normally. Thank God. For a second, I felt relief. Real relief. Something solid to hold on to. Copy. I said quickly, confirm vehicle count. 3 cars. Family convoy. Any injuries? Negative. My fingers move across the console automatically. Muscle memory. Training. Procedure. Anything to keep me from thinking about what I just heard. About what was behind me. All right, I said, you're going to take Highway 37 heading west. It's the fastest exit from your position. The words came out before I could stop them. Highway 37. Again, a small part of me hesitated. But the map still showed it. Clear, open, available. The man responded instantly. Copy that. Turning onto 37 now. I watched the screen. 3 small icons appeared. Moving, just like before. Steady, consistent, like nothing was wrong. Dispatch, he said, a little calmer now. Visibility's low, but the road's clear. I nodded to myself. Maintain speed. Stay together. For a moment, everything felt normal again. The kind of normal you grab onto when you're drowning. But then, the first car slowed. Just a little. Then the second. Then the third. All at once. Dispatch, the man said, his voice tightening. Something's off. My stomach dropped. What do you see? A pause. Long enough to feel familiar. Too familiar. The road is getting narrow. I leaned forward. The map didn't change. Still a straight line. Still wide. Still safe. Confirm lane obstruction, I said. There's no obstruction, he said. It's just closing in. I didn't understand. What do you mean closing in? The sides, he said. They're closer than they should be. A sound came through the line. A faint scraping. Like metal brushing against something rough. Are you in a canyon? I asked. No, he said. This is open land. There shouldn't be anything here. The scraping got louder, then stopped. Dispatch, he said quieter now. The other cars are saying the same thing. I looked at the map again. Still nothing. No change. No obstruction. Just 3 icons moving forward. Maintain course, I said, even though my voice didn't feel steady anymore. We can't turn, he said. Why not? The road won't let us. Those words, they didn't make sense, but I felt them anyway, like something was pressing against the inside of my skull. Try to reverse, I said. A pause. Then, We're not stopping. Cold, sharp, immediate. What do you mean you're not stopping? My foot's on the brake. The engine noise in the background got louder, strained. Speed increasing, he said. The icons on the map sped up faster than before. Too fast. Switch to manual override, I said. I am, he said. It's not responding. The other voices came in then. Faint, through his line. Panic spreading between the cars. Dispatch. We're too close. Something's on the road. Stay in your lanes, the man shouted. Try to hold control. My hands hovered over the console. There was nothing I could do. Nothing in the system matched what they were seeing. Nothing existed where they were. Describe what's ahead. I said, silence. Then, there's a man. My chest tightened, standing in the middle of the road. Of course there is. Is he moving? No. Is he facing you? A pause. Then, no. I shut my eyes for a second. Just one. Keep going, I said. Do not stop. We can't stop, he said again. The engine noise climbed higher. A harsh, strained sound, like the car was being pushed beyond its limit. He's getting closer, the man said. Maintain direction. I said, even though I didn't know what that meant anymore. He's still not facing us. The scraping sound came back. Louder, closer, like something dragging along the sides of the cars. Dispatch. Another voice cut in. There are houses here. My eyes snapped open. What kind of houses? They're too close, the voice said. They're right up against the road. They weren't there before, another voice said. They don't have doors, the first voice added. My throat went dry. I'd heard this before. Keep your eyes forward, I said quickly, but it was too late. He's turning, the man said. The words hit harder this time, because I knew what came next. He's not walking, he added, just turning. The breathing started again, in my headset, behind me, around me, slow, uneven, like something was learning how. Dispatch, the man whispered. He's facing us now. I didn't respond. I couldn't, because I already knew. He looks like... The line crackled, hard, then cleared, and when his voice came back, it wasn't the same. He looks like you. Everything inside me went still. No, I said quietly. Yes, the voice said, not his voice. Mine. You told us to come here. The map glitched, violently. Highway 37 disappeared. Just gone. Replaced by empty space. No road. No path. Nothing. But the icons. They were still moving. Floating. In nothing. There is no road, the voice said. You made one. I shook my head, even though no one could see me. That's not possible, I whispered. You needed a way out, it said, so you gave them one. The breathing was everywhere now. Inside the headset, inside the room, inside my chest. You're still doing it, the voice said. I looked at the console, at the open channel, at the blinking line waiting for input. Another call was coming in, already connected, already listening. Dispatch, a new voice said. A woman, panicked. Please, tell me where to go. My mouth opened. I didn't want to speak. I didn't want to answer, because I understood now, not fully, but enough. Every route I gave, every direction, it wasn't leading them out. It was creating something. Something that didn't exist before. Something that needed them to keep moving. Please, the woman said. The fire's getting closer. The glow outside the window felt brighter now. Closer, like it was pressing against the building. Waiting. Dispatch, she said again. My fingers hovered over keys. If I stayed silent, she might burn. If I spoke, she might end up somewhere worse. The line stayed open, waiting, listening, and behind me, soft, close, right next to my ear, my own voice whispered, "Send her through." I closed my eyes, just for a second, and when I opened them, I gave it a route. A road that wasn't on the map. A road I could already see forming, bending, waiting, because no matter what I chose, the line never closed, and someone was always still driving. The call cut off in the middle of a sentence. Not at the end. Not after a pause. Right in the middle. Like someone had reached into the line and pinched it shut. Dispatch! Engine 12 entering zone 12. Visibility is dropping and the fire line is... Silence. I kept the headset pressed tight against my ear. Waiting. Sometimes there's a delay. Static. Interference. But this wasn't that. There was no distortion. No fading. Just gone. Engine 12. Repeat last transmission, I said. Nothing that I glanced at the signal panel. Connection lost. Just like that. Clean. Too clean. I leaned forward, adjusting the channel frequency slightly. Engine 12. This is dispatch. Do you copy? Static crackled for a second, then settled. Empty again. My fingers hovered over the console. I didn't like this. Fire crews don't just go silent. Not like that. Not mid-sentence. I checked their last known position. Zone 12. A patch of land just beyond the outer containment line. Dry brush. Old structures. Nothing unusual. At least, nothing that should cause a full blackout. Engine 12, respond. I said again. Still nothing. I switched channels. Tried their backup frequency. Engine 12. This is dispatch on alternate line. Do you copy? A burst of static answered me. Louder this time. Sharp enough to make me pull the headset slightly away. Then, for a split second, I thought I heard something inside it. A voice, but not clear. Not words. Just sound. Low. Press. Like someone trying to speak through something thick. Engine 12. If you can hear me, key your mic twice. Silence. Then, click. Click. My chest tightened. Engine 12 confirmed status. Nothing. No voice. Just that response point 2 clicks. Exactly like I asked. A small relief slipped in. They were there. Alive. Trying. Engine 12. I need verbal confirmation. I said. The line stayed open. A faint hum filled my ears. Then, slowly, something came through. Die patch. The voice dragged. Stretched. Like it was being pulled apart. I froze. Engine 12. I said carefully. Die patch. Same tone. Same length. Same distortion. It didn't sound like a person talking. It sounded like a word being replayed. Wrong. I swallowed. Engine 12. Identify yourself. A pause. Then, die patch. Again. Exactly the same. My grip tightened. That wasn't a response. That was a loop. Engine 12. Break transmission. I said. The voice continued. Unchanged. Die patch. Over and over. No variation. No breath. No shift. Just repetition. I reached for the volume dial and turned it down, but I could still hear it. Faint. Like it wasn't just in the headset anymore. Like it was in the room. Stop transmission. I said, louder this time. The voice didn't stop. It didn't even react. It just kept going. Die patch. My eyes moved a call log. A new entry had appeared. 2201. Engine 12. Active. But the duration, it kept resetting. Every second. Like the call had just started. Again. And again. And again. I felt something shift inside me. Something I didn't want to admit. Engine 12. I said quietly, are you in immediate danger? The loop broke. Just for a moment. And in that moment, a different voice came through. Sharp. Panicked. Don't send anyone here. The line snapped. Back to the loop. Die patch. My heart slammed against my chest. Engine 12, repeat last. No response. Just a loop. But now, under it, something else. Faint. Layered. Like multiple voices trying to push through at once. I leaned closer, straining to hear. And that's when I realized they weren't trying to speak over each other. They were saying the same thing, at the same time, slightly out of sync. Dispatch. 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 The same word. Stacked. Overlapping. Not one voice. Not even 5. More. Too many. I pulled the headset halfway off again. but the sound followed. Low, constant, like it had already gotten inside. Engine 12. I said, forcing my voice steady. Give me a status update, one at a time. For a second, everything stopped. No loop, no voices, nothing. Relief hit me again. Small, fragile. Then, a new sound. Footsteps, crunching, slow, measured, coming through the line. I held my breath. Engine 12, who was moving? No answer. The footsteps continued. 1, 2, 3. Then they stopped right next to the mic. I could feel it. That closeness. That presence. Even through the line. Engine 12. I whispered, identify yourself. Silence. Then a voice. Soft. Too soft. He turned around. My stomach dropped. What? I asked. No answer. Just that same voice again. He wasn't facing us before. The words came slowly, carefully, like they mattered, like they were being chosen. Who turned around? I said, no response. Then, a different voice. Further away, he's still walking. Another voice. Closer, but he's not getting closer. My grip tightened. What are you seeing? I asked. The line crackled. Then, he's in the fire. The words hit like a weight. He's standing inside it. I stared at the screen. Zone 12. The fire line should have been moving, shifting, consuming, but the map, it wasn't changing. It was holding, like Unit 14 said earlier, like something was keeping it in place. Engine 12. I said slowly, fall back immediately. No response. Then, he's looking at us now. The breathing started again. Slow, uneven, not from them, from somewhere else, somewhere closer. Engine 12, retreat. I said, louder now. We can't, the voice said. Why not? He's in front of us. Go around. There's no around. My throat felt tight. What do you mean there's no? The fires erode. Everything inside me went still. What? The fires erode, the voice repeated. It's not burning us. A pause. Then, it's waiting. The word hung there, heavy, unmoving. Engine 12. I said, my voice barely steady. Confirm personnel count. Silence. Then, too many voices answered. 4, 5, 6, 7. Numbers overlapping. Climbing. Wrong. Confirm actual count. I snapped. The voices stopped. And for a moment, there was just one. Calm. Clear. There were 4 of us. The breathing got louder. Closer. Right behind me now. He's closer, the voice said. Who is? I whispered. No answer. Then, the line filled with sound. Not static. Not fire. Something else. Like fabric moving. Like someone stepping closer. 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 I didn't turn. I didn't move. Because I already knew. Dispatch, the voice said. But it wasn't coming from the headset anymore. It was behind me, in the room, close enough to touch. You told us to come here. The line went dead. Completely. No static. No signal. Nothing. I sat there, frozen, listening to the silence, waiting for it to break. And after a long time, it did. Soft, faint, through a channel I hadn't opened. A new transmission. Same timestamp. 2201. Same unit. Engine 12. And before I could speak, the voice came through again. Clear this time. Perfect. Like nothing had happened. Dispatch. Engine 12 entering Zone 12. Visibility is dropping and the fire line is... It stopped right in the same place. Exactly the same. And I realized they hadn't gone silent. They were still entering. Still reporting. Still stuck in the moment I first heard them. And no matter what I did, that moment wasn't moving forward. The recording shouldn't have changed. That's the part that got to me first. Not the voices. Not the words. The fact that it wasn't the same twice. I pulled up Engine 12's last transmission again, hand steady at first, Like this was just another system check. Just a glitch. That's what I told myself. The file loaded instantly. Timestamp 2201. Duration 004. I press play. Dispatch. Engine 12 entering zone 12. Visibility is dropping and the fire line is... Cut. Same as before. Exactly where it ended. I exhaled slowly. Normal. Or at least consistent. I hit replay. The file restarted. Dispatch. Engine 12 entering zone 12. Visibility is dropping and the fire line is moving wrong. My finger froze over the console. I didn't press anything. I didn't touch a setting. But that wasn't what he said the first time. I knew it. I heard it. He never said moving wrong. The line cut again. Same place. Same silence. My chest felt tight. Okay, I whispered. Corruption. Audio files get damaged. Words get inserted. Bits of noise fill in gaps. That happens. That's real. That's explainable. I played it again. Dispatch. Engine 12 entering zone 12. Visibility is dropping and the fire line is holding still. The air in the room felt heavier. Holding still. That matched what Unit 14 said earlier. But this recording, it wasn't supposed to update. I leaned back slowly in the chair. All right. I muttered, system error. I pulled up the backup recording. Different storage. Separate system. No overlap. This one wouldn't be affected. It couldn't be. I hit play. Dispatch. Engine 12 entering zone 12. Visibility is dropping and the fire line is... A pause. A real pause. Not a cut. Then, waiting. The word came through clear. Soft. Too soft. Like it wasn't meant to be heard. I stopped the playback. My fingers felt cold now. That wasn't distortion. That wasn't noise. That was addition. Something was adding to it, changing it. I checked the waveform. The data didn't match. The shape of the audio shifted each time I replayed it. That's not how recordings work. They don't rewrite themselves. I pressed play again, slowly this time, carefully, listening for every detail. Dispatch. Engine 12 entering zone 12. Visibility is dropping and the fire line is... A breath. Not his. Something else. Then, watching. I ripped the headset off one ear, just for a second, but I could still hear it. Faint, not from the speakers. From the room. Behind me. I didn't turn. I kept my eyes locked on the screen, because I knew if I turned now, I wouldn't be alone anymore. I forced myself to keep going. One more playback. Just one. I needed to understand. I needed to find the pattern. I pressed play. Dispatch. Engine 12 entering zone 12. Visibility is dropping and the fire line is... The voice cut early this time, before the last word. Then, something else filled the gap. He's here. I stopped breathing. That wasn't Engine 12. That wasn't even the same tone. That was quieter, closer, like it was recorded from right next to the mic. I checked the timestamp again. Still 2201. Still 4 seconds. But now, it felt longer, like something was stretching inside it. I scrubbed through the audio manually, dragging the timeline slowly, frame by frame. That's when I saw it. There were more layers, hidden under the main track, stacked like multiple recordings had been pressed into the same space. I isolated one, played it alone, static at first, then footsteps, crunching, slow, measured, same as before. Another layer. I isolated that one, breathing, uneven, close, another, voices, too many to count, all saying the same word. Dispatch, dispatch, dispatch. I pulled my hands back from the console. This wasn't recording anymore. This was something else, something alive, something building. The system beeped softly. A new entry appeared in the log. Engine 12. Again, 2201. Active. I didn't touch anything. I didn't accept the call. But the channel opened anyway. And the recording, it started playing on its own. Dispatch. Engine 12 entering zone 12. The voice cut, then shifted. Not the same voice. Not the same tone. You sent us here. My stomach dropped. I didn't. You told us it was clear. The screen flickered. The waveform distorted, stretching, breaking, then snapping back. I followed protocol. I whispered. But even as I said it, I wasn't sure anymore. You made the road, the voice said. I shook my head. No, you made the path. No, you're still making it. The breathing got louder, closer, right behind me. I could feel it now. Warm air against the back of my neck. Inhale, pause, exhale. I clenched my jaw. Didn't turn, didn't move. Stop playback, I said. The system didn't respond. The recording continued. But now, it wasn't just one voice. It was all of them, layered, stacked, speaking over each other. You told us to come here. You said it was safe. There is no road. You made one. The words overlapped until they blurred into noise. Then, suddenly, everything stopped. Silence. Complete. Heavy. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. Because silence felt worse now. More dangerous than the sound. The screen went blank. Just for a second. Then came back. The recording was still there. But the duration had changed. 0:05. 1 second longer. I stared at it. My chest rising slowly. Carefully. No. I whispered. I pressed play again. Dispatch. Engine 12 entering zone 12. Visibility is dropping, and the fire line is... A new word. Clear. Final. Inside. The line didn't cut this time. It kept going. Just a little longer. Long enough for one more sound. A soft click, like a door opening. From the inside, I shut the playback off. Hard. The silence rushed back in. But it didn't feel empty. It felt full, like something had filled the space and just gone quiet. Waiting. I stared at the console, at the log, at the endless 22:01 repeating down the screen. And then I noticed something new. A second entry. Same timestamp, different label. Dispatch. Active. I didn't understand at first. Then the channel opened. On its own. And I heard it. Clear. Perfect. My voice. Dispatch online. Night shift active. I hadn't said it. Not this time. But the system logged it anyway. Recorded it. Stored it. Like it had always been there. I reached for the console slowly. Almost afraid to touch it. Because I knew if the recordings were changing, if the past wasn't fixed anymore, then maybe I wasn't just listening to them. Maybe something was listening to me and learning how to sound like me. The line stayed open, quiet, patient, like it was waiting for the next thing I would say, or the next thing it would become. The static wasn't empty. That's what I realized too late. At first, I thought it was just noise, background interference, the kind you learn to ignore after a few hours on shift. But once you hear it, you can't unhear it. It started small, barely there, a faint layer under the main channel, like a second frequency trying to exist in the same space. I adjusted the dial slightly, trying to clean it up. That's when it got worse. Not louder, clearer. The static didn't disappear. IT sharpened, and inside it, something moved. I froze, not physically, just inside, because I knew what I was hearing, but I didn't want to accept it. Dispatch, confirmed channel integrity. I said out loud, mostly to ground myself. My voice sounded normal. That helped. A little. I ran a quick scan. All systems showed green. No interference flagged. No signal overlap. Nothing wrong. Except I could still hear it. A soft murmur buried in the static. Too quiet to be words. Too structured to be random. I leaned closer. Turned the volume up just a little more. The sound shifted again. Like it noticed. Like it adjusted to meet me halfway. And then I heard it. Not clearly. Not fully. Just enough. You... I pulled back slightly. Heart beating faster now. Hello, I said. The line stayed open. Static filled my ears. Then, here, the words slipped through. Broken. Incomplete. But real. I swallowed. Identify yourself. No response. Just the static. But now, I couldn't pretend anymore. It wasn't empty. It was layered. I switched to another channel. Different frequency. Different line. Same static. Same presence. I turned the volume down. Then back up. Testing. Checking. Trying to prove it was just interference. But every time I raised the volume, the sound came back clearer. Closer. Like it needed me to listen first. You hear me? The words didn't line up perfectly. They came in fragments. Out of order. But my brain filled the gaps anyway. I pushed the headset tighter against my ears. Say that again, I whispered. The static pulsed. For a second, just a second, everything went quiet. And in that silence, I heard my name. Not loud, not sharp, soft, careful, like someone standing right behind me, not wanting to startle me. I didn't move, didn't breathe, because I knew no one else was in that room. Who is this? I asked, my voice lower now. The static returned, but it wasn't random anymore. It moved, shifted, like a crowd whispering a language I almost understood. Then, another voice, different tone, same softness. My name again, this time from the left side of my headset. I turned slightly. Before I could stop myself, the room was still empty, but the sound, it didn't stay in the headset anymore. It followed the movement, stayed close, stayed near. I faced forward again, hands gripping the console now. Stop, I said. The whispers didn't stop. They multiplied. More voices, different pitches, all quiet, all close, all saying the same thing. My name, over and over, not shouting, not urgent, just calling, like they were trying to get my attention, like they were waiting for me to answer. I shook my head. No, I said, no, that's not real. But even as I said it, I knew I was already listening, already responding. Dispatch, I said louder, forcing myself back into procedure. All units, report status. Silence, then static, then voices, not units, not real calls, just whispers layered into the channel, all speaking at once, all too quiet to fully understand. But one word came through, clearer than the rest. Stay. My chest tightened. Repeat transmission. I said. The static pulsed again. Then, stay. Same voice, same tone, closer now. Who is this? I demanded. No answer. Just more whispers, more names. Not just mine, others, different ones. Some familiar, some not. I recognize one. The day shift guy, the one who left too fast. His name slipped through the static, like it had always been there. Then another and another. A list, a roll call. But no one was responding, just the voices saying the names. I pulled the headset off halfway again, but it didn't help. The whispers stayed, faint, in the room now, not just in the line. I stood up slowly, chairs scraping softly behind me. The sound felt too loud, too real, compared to everything else. Stop, I said again, this time louder. The whispers paused. Not gone, just waiting, like they were giving me space, like they expected something back. I shook my head, sat down again, hands shaking slightly now. System malfunction. I muttered, audio bleed. That had to be it. That had to be something I could fix. I reached for the system controls, started isolating channels, muting frequencies, one by one. But no matter what I turned off, the whispers stayed, unchanged, untouched, independent. That's when I noticed something new. The log. It was updating. Names appearing, one after another. Same timestamp, 2201. Each entry labeled, active. I leaned closer, reading them, recognizing some, not recognizing others. Then my name appeared. I froze, stared at it, waiting for it to disappear. It didn't. Status, active. I felt my chest tighten. That's not right. I whispered, I'm here. The static shifted, and for the first time, one voice came through clearly, not broken, not layered, just one. Calm, close, you're on the line. I shook my head. No, you never left. The breathing came back. Slow, uneven, right behind me again. You're still here. I am here, I said. But even as I said it, something felt off. Like the words didn't belong to me anymore. Like they were being repeated, reused. The screen flickered. The log updated again. My name stayed. Active. And then another entry appeared. Same name. Same timestamp. Duplicate. I stared at it. Heart pounding. Two of me. Both active. Both on the line. Which one is you? The voice asked. I couldn't answer. Because I didn't know. The whispers returned. Louder now. Filling the room. Filling my head. Repeating names. Repeating mine. Over and over. Until they blurred into noise. Until I couldn't tell where they started. Or where I ended. The channel stayed open. The line stayed active. And somewhere inside the static, something was still calling me. Waiting for me to answer. Or waiting for me to realize I already had. The footage wasn't supposed to exist. That's what they told me. Engine 12 never uploaded anything. No final report. No video. No data packet. Just that broken transmission. And silence. But at 22:37, a file appeared in the system. No sender ID. No transfer log. Just there, labeled, engine _ 12 _ bodycam _ 01. I stared at it for a long time before opening it. Long enough to notice my hands weren't steady anymore. Long enough to realize I didn't want to see what was inside. But I clicked it anyway. The screen flickered once. Then the video started. Shaky, low visibility. Ash drifting across the lens like snow. The camera was mounted on someone's chest. I could hear breathing. Fast. Controlled. A firefighter's voice came through. Engine 12. Entering zone 12. Visibility is dropping. Normal. Clear. Exactly how it should sound. For a moment, I felt relief. Like maybe all of this had an explanation. Maybe this would show something real. Something that made sense. The camera moved forward. Boots crunching over dry ground. The fire line was ahead. I could see it. A long, bright wall cutting across the darkness. But something about it felt off. I leaned closer to the screen. The flames weren't moving. They flickered. They burned. But they didn't spread. Didn't shift. Didn't breathe. Just held their shape. Like a picture of fire. Winds picking up. Another voice said. I watched the ash in the air. It was moving. Blowing sideways. Fast. But the flames, they leaned the wrong way. Against the wind. I frowned. That's not possible. I whispered. The camera got closer. The heat distortion should have kicked in by now. That wavering effect in the air. But it didn't. Everything stayed sharp. Too sharp. Feels wrong. The first voice said. Quiet. Almost to himself. They kept walking. Closer. Closer. The fire didn't react. Didn't roar. Didn't surge. It just stayed there. Waiting. I felt my chest tighten. Hold position, the firefighter said. The camera stopped. The crew gathered. 4 of them. I counted. 4. Just like the report. One of them stepped forward. Slowly. Cautiously. He reached out. Gloved hand extended toward the flame. I leaned in. Watching. Waiting for the heat to push him back. Waiting for the natural reaction. But his hand passed through it. No resistance. No flinch. No burn. The fire didn't touch him. It parted, like it was letting him in. Do you see that? Someone whispered. The camera shifted. Focused. The flames moved slightly. Just enough to open a gap. A path. Right through the middle. My stomach dropped. No, I said under my breath. Negative, the firefighter said. This isn't right. But he stepped forward anyway. 1 step. Then another. The others followed. Not because they wanted to. Because there was nowhere else to go. The fire line stretched endlessly in both directions. No break. No safe route. Except the one opening in front of them. The camera entered the flames. I expected darkness. Distortion. Signal loss. But instead, the image cleared. perfectly, like stepping into a different place. There was no fire inside, just a road, a narrow one, dirt, worn, like it had been used for years. My breath caught. "That's not there," I whispered. It wasn't on any map. I knew that now. I'd seen the system. I'd seen it disappear. But here it was, clear as day. The crew stopped, looking around. "Where the hell are we?" one of them said. The sky above them was wrong. No smoke, no stars. Just a flat, dim gray, like a ceiling pretending to be open space. The camera turned slowly, scanning the area. And then it caught something at the far end of the road. A figure, standing still, back turned. My chest tightened instantly. I knew that shape. I didn't know how, but I knew it. "Someone's out here," the firefighter said. His voice wasn't steady anymore. "Dispatch didn't report civilians in this zone." Of course I didn't, because this place didn't exist. "Hey!" one of them called out. The figure didn't move, didn't react, just stood there, still, waiting. "Stay together," the lead said. They started walking again. Slow, careful. The camera bounced with each step. Closer, closer. The figure grew clearer. A man, standing in the middle of the road, hands at his sides, head slightly tilted, facing away. "He's not responding," someone said. "Maybe he's in shock." The breathing got louder, from the camera, from the man wearing it. Heavy now, uneven. "Sir," the lead called again. No response. The wind picked up, or, at least, something moved in the air. But it didn't feel like wind. It felt directed. The ash was gone now. The silence pressing harder. "He's too still," another voice whispered. They stopped a few feet behind him, close enough to reach out, close enough to see. He wasn't burned, not even close. Clean, untouched, in the middle of a fire zone. "That's not possible," I said again. But no one could hear me. The camera tilted slightly. The firefighter hesitated. Then he reached out, hand moving toward the man's shoulder. And before he touched him, the man turned. Not fast, not sudden, slow, controlled, like he had been waiting for that exact moment. The camera caught his face, and everything inside me went cold. It wasn't a stranger. It wasn't a civilian. It wasn't anyone from the crew. It was me, exactly me. Same face, same eyes, same expression. Calm, too calm. "You made it," he said. My voice, perfect, unchanged. The firefighter stumbled back. "What the hell?" The others stepped back too, confused, afraid. But the man, he didn't move, didn't react, just looked at them, like they were expected, like this had already happened. "You weren't supposed to come this far," he said. Still my voice, still calm. The camera shook slightly. "Dispatch?" one of them said into the radio. No response. Of course not. They weren't on the line anymore. "You told us to take this route," the lead said. The man smiled, a small one, barely there. "I did." The air shifted. The road behind them, it wasn't there anymore. Just fire, closing in, sealing the way back. "You made it," he said again, like it meant something different now, like it wasn't a greeting. It was a conclusion. The camera jerked, panic rising. "What do we do?" someone whispered. The man tilted his head slightly, studying them. Then he stepped forward, just one step, and the camera cut. No distortion, no static, just black. The file ended. I sat there, frozen, staring at the empty screen, my reflection faint in the glass. For a second, I didn't recognize it, didn't feel like it was mine. Then the system beeped, soft, almost gentle. A new file appeared, same format, same label, engine_12_bodycam_02, timestamp 22:01. I didn't open it. I couldn't, because I already knew. Whatever was in that next video, it hadn't happened yet, and somehow it was already waiting. The name showed up before the calls did. That's what made it worse. Usually, the system logs a call first, then fills in the details. Caller ID, location, status. But this time, the names were already there, waiting. I noticed it by accident. Just a quick glance at the evac list while the lines were quiet. Too quiet. Rows of names. Scrolling slowly. Updating in real time. At first, nothing seemed wrong. Just families, individuals, people trying to get out. Then I saw one that didn't make sense. No address. No coordinates. Just a name. Blank fields everywhere else. I frowned. Clicked on it. The system lagged for a second, then opened the profile. Name, Daniel H. Address. Status, active. No age. No phone number. No location data. Nothing. System error. I muttered. That happens sometimes. Incomplete entries during high traffic. I refreshed the page. The name stayed. Didn't update. Didn't fill in. Just sat there. Active. I scrolled down. Another one. Same thing. Different name. No address. No coordinates. Just active. My chest tightened slightly. That wasn't normal. Even partial data shows something. A rough location. A signal ping. These had nothing. Like they weren't coming from anywhere. I checked call log. No matching entries. No incoming calls tied to those names. Which meant they weren't calling in. But the system thought they were. I leaned back slowly. Okay, glitch. I said it out loud again. Try and make it feel real. Try and make it small. But then, a new name appeared. Right at the top. It pushed the others down. Auto-generated. No delay. No input. Just added. I watched it happen. The cursor blinked once. And the name filled itself in. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. I didn't touch anything. Didn't press a key, but the system kept updating. One name, then another, each one incomplete, each one active. Stop. I whispered like the system could hear me, like it would listen. It didn't. The list kept growing. Slow, steady, unnatural. I clicked on one at random. The profile opened instantly this time. Name, Aisha R. Address, updating. The word flickered. Updating. Then, change. Address, Highway 37. My stomach dropped. No, I said quietly. I refreshed the page. The address stayed. Fixed, like it had always been there. I checked another name. Same thing. Different person. Same address. Highway 37. Again, and again, and again. Every incomplete entry now pointed to the same place. A road that didn't exist. Or at least, wasn't supposed to. I swallowed hard. Scroll faster now. Dozens of names. All active. All assigned to the same location. Like they were being pulled there. Like something was gathering them. A call came in. Sharp. Sudden. Breaking the silence. I grabbed the headset quickly. Dispatch. Go ahead. Nothing. Just breathing. Soft. Slow. Caller. State your emergency. A pause. Then, am I on the list? The voice was weak, confused. What list? I asked. The one you made. They said. My grip tightened. I didn't make any list, I said. You did, they whispered. You put my name there. I looked at the screen, scrolled, searching. My heart started racing. What's your name? I asked. The line crackled slightly. Then, I don't remember. Cold, sharp, wrong. You don't remember your name? I repeated. They took it. The voice said, Who? A pause. Long, heavy. Then, the road. The screen flickered, just for a second. But when it came back, the list had changed. The names were shifting, letters moving, rearranging, like they weren't stable, like they weren't finished yet. Dispatch, the voice said again, a little stronger now. What does it say next to mine? I stared at the screen, hands shaking now, scrolling slowly, carefully, like I was afraid of what I'd find. Then I saw it, a blank entry, no name, just a blinking cursor. And beneath it, status, active, address, Highway 37. I felt my throat tighten. What does it say? The voice asked. I couldn't answer, because as I watched, the names started to fill in, one letter at a time, not typed, not entered, just appearing. I knew what was before it finished. I knew it before I could stop it. My name, exactly, spelled perfectly. I froze. No, I whispered. That's not right. The voice on the line went quiet. Then, you see it now? My chest felt tight, like the air in the room had changed, like it wasn't meant for me anymore. That's not me, I said, but the system didn't care. The profile completed. Name, mine, address, Highway 37. Status, active. The breathing in the headset got louder, closer. You added yourself, the voice said. I didn't. You're already on the road. My eyes snapped a window. The faint glow outside had shifted, brighter, closer, like it was pressing against the glass. No, I said again. I'm here. Then why are you listed there? I didn't answer, because I didn't have one. The system beeped softly. Another update, another change. The status next to my name flickered. Active, then en route. My stomach dropped. What does that mean? I whispered. The voice didn't respond. The line went silent, but the connection didn't close. It stayed open, like it was still listening. I stared at the screen, at the list, at the names that kept appearing. Dozens now, maybe more, all incomplete, all shifting, all leading to the same place. Highway 37, and at the top, my name, moving, updating. The status changed again. En route, then arriving. The room felt smaller now, tighter, like something was closing in, and somewhere, far away, or maybe very close, I could hear footsteps, slow, measured, getting closer, and I didn't know if they were coming toward me, or if I was already walking toward them. The first one sounded normal. That's what made it worse later, because nothing about her voice felt wrong at the start. Dispatch! I need help, she said, breath shaky, like someone trying to stay calm while everything around them burns. I adjusted my headset. Focused. Locked in. Go ahead, caller. What's your location? A pause. Not long. Just enough to feel uncertain. I'm at home, she said. Ma'am, I need an address. Another pause. Longer this time. Then, I don't have one. My fingers stopped over keyboard. That's okay, I said carefully. Just tell me the nearest road or landmark. Silence. Then, I can see the fire. That didn't help. Is there a road nearby? I think so. Think so. I swallowed. Look for a street sign, I said. I did. And it doesn't say anything. A chill moved through me. Street signs always say something. Even broken ones. Even burned ones. There should be letters or numbers. I said. There aren't, she replied. Her voice wasn't panicked. Not exactly. More like confused. Like she was trying to understand something that didn't make sense. Okay, I said, forcing my voice steady. What's your name? Another pause. Longer now. Like the question itself was difficult. I don't know. I felt my chest tighten. You don't know your name? I did before, she said. I think. That word again. Think. Everything about her felt incomplete, like she wasn't fully there. Ma'am, are you alone? Yes. Anyone else in the house? I don't think this is a house. I froze. What do you mean? The line crackled softly. Then, it looks like one, she said, but it doesn't feel like one. My eyes moved the system. No caller ID, no number, just a blank entry. Active. Can you describe where you are? I asked. A breath. Then, there are walls, she said, but they don't connect right. I frowned. What do you mean? They shift, she said quietly. When I look away, the air in the room felt heavier, like the walls around me had suddenly become noticeable. Ma'am, stay where you are, I said quickly. Do not move around too much. I already moved, she said. How far? I don't know. My grip tightened. Did you leave the house? I don't think I can leave, she whispered. The whisper cut deeper than anything else. Why not? The door doesn't stay in the same place. I didn't answer right away, because I didn't know how to, because nothing about this fit into anything real. Okay, I said slowly. Listen to me. Stay calm. I'm going to help you. A small silence. Then, are you on the list? She asked. The question hit harder than it should have. What list? I said, even though I already knew, the one with the names. I looked at the screen. The list was still there, still growing, still changing. What's your name? I asked again. This time, she answered, not hesitating, not unsure. She said my name, perfectly. I felt something drop inside me. No, I said quietly. That's not your name. It is now, she said. The line crackled. Then something shifted in her voice. Not louder, not distorted, just closer, like she wasn't on the other end anymore, like she was leaning in. I saw it appear, she said, on your screen. My eyes locked on the console. How do you know that? I asked. I can see you, she said. The words landed slowly. Heavy, cold. No, you can't, I said. Yes, she whispered. You're sitting down. Your left hand is shaking. I froze, because it was. You keep looking at the door, she added. I stopped myself from doing it again, forced my eyes forward. You're not there, I said. I think I am, she replied. The static pulsed. Soft, alive. Ma'am, I need you to focus. I said, try and pull control back. Tell me what's outside. A pause. Then, the fire isn't outside. My stomach tightened. Where is it? It's inside with me. I swallowed hard. Is it spreading? No. Is it close to you? Another pause. Then, it moves when I move. The room felt smaller, tighter, like something invisible had stepped closer. Can you see it clearly? I asked. Yes. What does it look like? It looks like a road. My heart skipped. No, I said. It does, she insisted. A long one, going through the walls. That's not possible. It is here. The line crackled again. Then, I think it wants me to follow it. No, I said quickly. Do not follow anything. Stay where you are. I don't think staying is an option, she said. Why not? Because I'm already moving. I stared at the screen, at the list, at the names. One of them flickered, changed, updated. The blank entry I saw earlier. It wasn't blank anymore. It had a name. Her voice came through again, soft, almost calm now. I think I remember something. What? I asked. I don't live here. A pause. Then, I wasn't here before the fire. My throat felt dry. Where were you? I asked. Silence. Then, with you. The words didn't make sense, but they felt right, in the worst possible way. You called me, she said. I don't remember that. You will. The breathing started again, in my headset. Behind me, close. I can see the end of the road now, she whispered. No, I said, stay where you are. It's not far. Don't go any further. I think someone's there. My chest tightened. Who? A long pause. Then, you. The line went silent. Not cut, not disconnected. Just empty. I stared at the console, at the call log. Her entry appeared. No number, no address, just a label. Caller ID, unknown resident. Status, connected. Location, Highway 37. And before I could react, the status changed. Connected, then arrived. The line clicked softly, and I felt it, not heard it, not saw it. Felt it, like someone had just stepped into the room, right behind me, and this time, I couldn't stop myself. I turned. The first name I read was mine. That mattered. At least, I told myself it did, because if something answered back, I needed to know it wasn't just me hearing things. The order came through quietly. Not a call, not a voice, just a system prompt. Roll call required. Zone 12. No sender. No timestamp. Just sitting there in the queue like it had always been there. I stared at it longer than I should have. My finger hovered over the microphone toggle. We didn't do roll calls like this. Not during evacuations. Not in active fire zones. But the system had already opened the channel. The line was live. A soft hum filled my headset. Not static. Not interference. Just presence. Like something was already listening. I swallowed. Pressed the button. Dispatch initiating roll call for Zone 12. I said. My voice sounded smaller than usual. Thinner, like the room was taking something out of it before sending it through. No response. Just that same hum. I checked the screen. The list had changed again. Longer now. Dozens of names. Some complete. Some broken. Some still forming. I picked the first one. Didn't think too hard about it. Daniel H. Confirmed status. Silence. I expected that. I almost felt relief. See? Nothing. Just a system glitch. Just me talking into... Here. The word slipped into my ear so softly. I almost missed it. I froze. What? I whispered. The line stayed open. No repeat. No confirmation. Just silence again. My heart started beating faster. That could have been interference. Audio bleed. Something overlapping from another channel. That happens. Sometimes. I looked at the list again. At the next name. Forced myself forward. Aisha R. Confirmed status. A pause. Then, present. Clear this time. Too clear. Not distorted. Not broken. Just there. My fingers tightened around the console. That's not possible, I said under my breath. The system beeped. Soft. Acknowledging the response. Like it had logged it. Like it was real. I shook my head. No. I whispered, no, that's not real. But the list moved. Automatically. Advancing to the next name. I didn't press anything. Didn't touch the keyboard. The system was running it now. Without me. Mark T. Confirmed status. The voice that spoke wasn't mine. It came through the channel anyway. Using my tone. My cadence. Even the slight hesitation I had when reading unfamiliar names. Standing. The reply came. I pushed back from the desk. Slightly. Stop, I said. But nothing stopped. The system kept going. Lena S. Confirmed status. Waiting. Each answer came faster now. Closer together. Like they weren't thinking. Like they already knew their part. I reached for the manual override. Pressed it. Nothing happened. The button didn't respond. Like it wasn't connected anymore. Override, I said aloud. No effect. The list kept scrolling. Names I didn't recognize. Names that didn't belong anywhere. Unknown resident, the system voice said. It didn't even try to hide it now. Arrived, something answered. My breath caught. That label again. The one from the call. The one that wasn't supposed to exist. I leaned forward, closer to the screen. The next entry flickered. Blank at first. Then, letters started to form. Slow. Deliberate. Like they were being written by something that was learning how. I knew what it was before it finished. My name. Again. But this time, there was something under it. A second line. Status. Awaiting confirmation. No, I said. My voice shook. I'm not part of this. The system didn't respond, but the channel did. The hum shifted. Changed. Like it was focusing. Like it was listening more closely now. Waiting. Dispatch. A voice said softly. It wasn't coming from the list. It wasn't tied to a name. It was just there. You haven't confirmed. I shook my head. I'm not on that list. You are, the voice said. Calm. Certain. I can see you. My chest tightened. Where are you? I asked. A pause. Then, right where you're calling from. I turned slightly in my chair. Slow. Careful. The room looked the same. Monitors. Walls. That faint glow at the window. Everything normal. Everything wrong. Proceed with roll call, the system voice said again. My voice, but empty now, like it had been hollowed out. No, I said, I'm not doing that. The screen flickered, then froze. The list stopped moving. For a second, everything went quiet. No hum, no static, nothing, just silence. I felt a small wave of relief. Like maybe I'd broken it. Like maybe I still had control. Then my microphone clicked on. By itself. I didn't touch it. Didn't move. But I heard the soft shift of audio. Felt the channel open. And then my voice came through. Clear. Steady. Unfamiliar. My name. Confirmed status. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. The room felt frozen around me. Waiting. The line stayed open. Silent. Expecting. Answer. The voice said again. Still me. Still perfect. My throat tightened. I'm here. I whispered. I didn't mean to say it. It just came out. The system beat. Loud this time. Final. Status updated. I looked at the screen. My name shifted. Awaiting confirmation. Then, present. The hum returned. But it wasn't soft anymore. It was full. Heavy. Like dozens of voices layered just beneath the surface. Not speaking. Not yet. Just there. Listening. The list started moving again. Faster now. Names flying past. Statuses updating. Present. 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 Every single one. No gaps. No silence. Just answers. All at once. Too many to track. Too many to understand. I pressed my hands against the desk. Tried to ground myself. Tried to stay here. But something fell off. Wrong. Like the room had shifted slightly. Like it wasn't exactly where it used to be. Roll call complete, the system voice said. My voice. Flat. Final. Then a new line appeared at the bottom of the list. Just one. No name. No label. Just a blinking cursor. Waiting. I stared at it. Heart pounding. Hands cold. And slowly, very slowly, letters began to appear. Not my name. Not this time. Something else. Something I didn't recognize. Something I couldn't read fully. Because it kept changing. Shifting. Like it didn't belong in any language I knew. But one part stayed the same. At the end. Clear. Stable. Unmoving. Location. Highway 37. The cursor blinked once more. Then the system spoke again. Quiet. Almost gentle. Next. It didn't sound like panic at first. It sounded like confusion. Dispatch, Engine 12. We need a status update on the fire line. His voice was steady, controlled, professional, the kind of voice you trust. The kind that doesn't crack unless something is very wrong. I adjusted my headset, checked the system. Engine 12, go ahead, I said. You are clear to proceed to Zone 12. Fire is moving east with the wind. You should have a clear entry point from the south. There was a pause. Short, then negative. The word came out slower this time. Different? What do you mean negative? I asked. We're already here, he said. My fingers stopped. Confirm location, I said. We're at the edge of Zone 12, he replied. But the fire... He cut himself off. I waited. A second passed. Then two. Engine 12, continue, I said. His breathing came through now. Faint, but noticeable. It's not where you said it would be. I pulled up the map. The fire line was clear. Tracked. Moving exactly as predicted. You should have a clear path, I said. Wind is pushing away from your position. Another pause. Longer this time. Then, that's not what we're seeing. Something in his voice had shifted. Still controlled. But tighter now. Like he was holding something back. Describe what you see, I said. Static cracks softly across the line. Then, it's in front of us. That's not possible, I said. It is... I leaned forward, eyes scanning the screen. The data didn't match. The fire couldn't be there yet. Not for another 10 minutes at least. Engine 12. Confirmed distance from fire line. A breath. Then, 0. My chest tightened. Explain, I said. We drove straight into it, he replied. That doesn't align with current data. I'm telling you what happened. His voice cracked slightly. Just for a moment. Just enough. We had a clear road, he continued. Then the fire was just there. How far ahead? It wasn't ahead. A pause. Then it was around us. I felt something shift in my stomach. Surrounded? I asked, yes. How fast did it spread? Silence. Then, it didn't spread. The words landed heavy. Wrong. What do you mean it didn't spread? It just appeared, he said. Flat. Certain. Like it was already there, and we drove into it without seeing it. I looked at the map again. Everything still showed open space around them. Clear. Safe. Engine 12, hold position. I said, do not advance. We're not moving, he replied. The breathing was louder now. Not just his. Others in the background. Low voices. Muffled. What's your current visibility? I asked. Low, he said. But that's not the problem. What is the problem? A pause. Then, the fire isn't acting right. I closed my eyes for a second. Just a second. Trying to reset. Trying to stay grounded. Define not acting right. I said, it's not moving with the wind. I opened my eyes. The data showed strong eastward wind. Consistent. Predictable. Are you sure? I asked. Yes. Another voice came through faintly. Not on the mic. Behind him. It's leaning toward us. My grip tightened. Engine 12, confirm that statement. I said. He didn't answer right away. When he did, his voice was quieter. Confirmed. The line crackled. Then, it's shifting, he added. How? I asked. Slow, he said, but deliberate. The word sat there. Heavy, like it didn't belong in this context. Fire doesn't move deliberately, I said. I know that, he snapped. Then, silence. Regret. I'm sorry, he added quickly. This isn't right. I nodded to myself, even though he couldn't see it. It's okay, I said. Stay focused. We'll get you out. How? He asked. The question came fast. Too fast. Like he'd been holding it in. Find a break in the fire line. I said. There has to be a gap. There isn't. Look again. We have another voice in the background. Closer now. It's closing. My chest tightened. Engine 12, report status of crew. I said. All 4 accounted for, he replied. Any injuries? No. Any signs of structural fire behavior? Crown runs? Spotting? No, he said again. It's just there. The static grew louder for a moment, then settled, like something adjusting. Listening. Dispatch, he said. Yes. Have you ever seen fire move against the wind? I didn't answer right away. Because I hadn't. Because it shouldn't. Negative. I said, finally. Okay, he replied. A pause. Then, it's doing that now. My throat felt dry. Describe it, I said. It's bending, he said, like it's reaching. The word hit harder than it should have. Reaching. Fire doesn't reach. It consumes. It spreads. It reacts. It doesn't reach. Engine 12, stay calm, I said. I am calm, he replied. And that was the problem. He sounded calm. Too calm. Like something had settled over him. Like the panic had burned out already. What's your exit route? I asked. A pause. Then, gone. What do you mean gone? The road we came in on, he said. It's not there anymore. That's not possible. I know. Silence. Then, it's just fire now. The breathing got louder, closer to the mic. They're getting closer, someone whispered. Who? I asked quickly. No answer. Engine 12. Who is getting closer? Static surge. Loud. Sharp. Then cut. Engine 12, respond. I said, nothing. Engine 12, confirm status. The line stayed open, but empty. No voices. No breathing. Just that same low hum. Familiar now. Uncomfortable. Like something waiting. Then, a sound. Not from the crew. Not from the environment. From the channel itself. A voice. Soft. Clear. Not panicked. Not strained. Just calm. You sent them here. I froze. That's not Engine 12, I said. But the system didn't respond. The voice continued. They followed your directions. My chest tightened. Identify yourself, I said. No response to that. Just They trusted you. The words felt personal. Too personal. Like they were meant for me alone. Engine 12, if you can hear me, respond. I said quickly, silence. Then, they're still here. I looked at the screen, at the map, at the empty space where they were supposed to be. They're waiting. My hands started to shake. For what? I asked. A pause. Then, for you to understand. The line went dead. Not slowly. Not fading. Just gone. I sat there, staring at the console, at the blinking cursor, at the empty channel. And for the first time that night, I realized something I hadn't let myself think before. Engine 12 didn't get surrounded by the fire. The fire didn't trap them. They drove into something else. Something that looked like fire. Something that waited. Something that let them in. And now, it was still there, still waiting, for the next set of directions, for the next voice on the line. For me, they told me they were dead before the radio came back. That's the part that never left me, because for a few minutes, it almost made sense. Almost. The line had gone quiet after that last voice. The one that wasn't Engine 12. The one that said they were still there. I sat there, staring at the console, trying to decide what to do next. Call it in? Escalate? Shut the channel down? Before I could decide, another system alert popped up. Priority override. Incident update. My stomach tightened. I opened it. The report loaded slowly, like it didn't want to. Engine 12. Status. Deceased. I blinked. Read it again. Deceased. All for. Time of death. 22:14. I checked the clock. 22:26. 12 minutes ago. No, I said quietly. That's not right. Because I had just been talking to them. I had heard them. Their voices. Their breathing. Their confusion. You sent them here. The words echoed in my head. I shook it off. Scrolled through the report. Minimal details. No full explanation. Just confirmation. Bodies recovered near the perimeter of Zone 12. Severe burn damage. No signs of movement post-incident. No radioactivity logged after 22:14. I stared at that last line. No radioactivity. I looked slowly at my console, at the channel still open in front of me, at the soft, steady signal bar. Alive. Active. That's wrong, I whispered, because something was still there. I could feel it. The headset crackled softly. Not loud, not sharp, just enough to remind me it hadn't gone silent. I hesitated. Then, Engine 12, this is dispatch. Confirm status. My voice felt distant, like it wasn't fully mine anymore. A pause. Then, you already know. I stopped breathing. The voice was clear, recognizable. It was him, the same firefighter, same tone, same weight behind the words. But something was missing, something human. Engine 12. I said carefully. We told you, he replied. We're here. That's not possible, I said. The report was still open on my screen. 4 names. 4 confirmed deaths. Yeah, he said softly. That's what we thought too. The line crackled, but not like interference. More like movement, like something brushing against the signal. Where are you? I asked. A pause. Then, on the road. My chest tightened. Highway 37? I asked. Yes. The answer came too fast. Too certain. Describe your surroundings, I said. It looks like fire, he said, but it's not burning. I closed my eyes briefly, trying to hold on to something real, something stable. Are you injured? I asked. No, but the report says... We saw the bodies, he interrupted. My eyes snapped open. What? They're still there, he said. A pause. Then, right where we left them. Cold spread through me. You left them? I asked. We didn't have a choice. His voice dropped lower. Quieter. They stopped moving. I swallowed hard. And you? I asked. We kept walking. The logic didn't fit. None of it did. You're saying you're alive? A long pause. Then, I don't think that matters anymore. The words landed heavy. Final. Engine 12, listen to me. I said quickly, "You need to stay where you are. We're sending a team." "No," he said. "Firm. Immediate. Don't send anyone here." "Why not?" Another pause. Longer this time. Then, "Because we didn't find this place." My fingers tightened on the desk. "What do you mean?" "It found us," he said. The signal flickered. For a second, the audio doubled, layered, like two versions of his voice speaking at once, one slightly behind the other. Out of sync, we drove into it. One voice said, "It opened for us," the other said. I pulled the headset slightly away from my ear, heart racing. "Engine 12, your signal is unstable," I said. "No," he replied. "It's getting clearer." The hum beneath the line grew louder, deeper, like something tuning itself, adjusting. "You said we were dead," he added. "That's what the report says." "Yeah," he said quietly. "We saw that too." My breath caught. "What do you mean you saw it?" "It showed us," he replied, "on the road." The image hit me instantly. That place inside the fire, that impossible road. "What did it show you?" I asked. A pause. Then, "You." The word felt sharp. Personal. Wrong. "Doing what?" I asked. "Talking to us," he said, "sending us in." My chest tightened. "That's not." "It is," he interrupted. "We heard you before we called in." The room felt colder, like something had shifted behind me. "That's not possible," I said again. "You told us the path was clear," he continued. "You told us where to go." My grip tightened. "I did that after you called in." "No," he said softly. "You did it before." The line crackled again. Then, "It repeats," he added. "What repeats?" "The calls," he said. "The directions. The road. Everything." My mind tried to catch up, try to find a place where this made sense. It couldn't. "We walked for a while," he said. "Then we saw something." "What?" I asked. A long pause. Then, "Another crew." My heart skipped. "Which crew?" He didn't answer right away. When he did, his voice dropped to a whisper. "Us." I felt the air leave my lungs. "They were standing in the road," he continued, "just like we were." "Did they respond?" I asked. "No." "Did they move?" "No." Another pause. Then, "They looked burned." I closed my eyes, already knowing where this was going. "We got closer," he said. And then he stopped. The silence stretched. "Heavy, what happened?" I asked. They opened their eyes. The hum surged. Louder now. Closer. And they started talking. He said, "What did they say?" Another pause. Then they said the same things we were saying. My stomach twisted. "They were repeating us," he continued. "Every word. Every call. Every step." The signal pulsed. And for a second, I heard it under his voice. Faint, layered, multiple voices, all saying the same thing. Out of sync, stacked on top of each other. "Engine 12 confirmed status." "Engine 12 confirmed status." "Engine 12 confirmed status." My own voice, over and over, different tones, different timings, different versions. "They're still here," he said. "Which ones?" I asked. "All of them." My hands started to shake. "How many?" I whispered. A pause. Then I lost count. The line crackled again, then steadied. "You need to stop," he said suddenly. "Stop what?" "Talking to us." The words hit hard. Immediate. "Why?" I asked. "Because every time you do," he said, "another one shows up." The screen flickered. The list updated. A new entry appeared. No name, no data, just active. Location, Highway 37. I stared at it, frozen. "You see it, don't you?" he said. I didn't answer. "Because I did. Every call you make," he continued, "it brings more here." The hum deepened, filled the headset, filled the room. "We're not the first," he said, "and we won't be the last." The signal started to distort again, but this time it wasn't breaking. It was multiplying. Voices overlapping, repeating, layering. You sent them here. You sent them here. You sent them here. My voice. Not his. Not theirs. Mine. I ripped the headset off. The sound didn't stop. It kept going, echoing faintly in the room, like it wasn't just in the system anymore, like it had crossed over. The console beeped. Another update. Another entry. Another name. I didn't look. I didn't want to, because I already knew. If I kept answering, if I kept talking, I wasn't just listening anymore. I was building it, feeding it, expanding that road, one voice at a time. And somewhere out there, or maybe not out there at all, they were still walking, still calling, still waiting for me to say something again. The coordinates showed up before the call. That's what scared me the most. Not the voice, not the repeating names, not even Engine 12 still talking after they were confirmed dead. It was the system moving on its own. I hadn't touched anything. My hands were off the keyboard, off the console, just sitting there in my lap, trying to stay still, trying not to answer anything, trying not to make it worse. And then, a soft chime. New entry. I looked up slowly. The screen refreshed. Location request. Incoming data. No caller ID. No unit number. No voice attached. Just coordinates. Latitude. Longitude. Blinking softly in the center of the screen. I frowned. That's not how this works. I whispered. Coordinates don't just appear. Someone sends them. Someone speaks them. Someone types them in. But this was already there. Waiting. Like it had been queued before I even noticed. I hovered the cursor over it. Didn't click. Didn't open. Just watched. The numbers flickered once. Then stabilized. I copied them manually. Opened the map. Pasted them in. The system processed for a second. Then, no results found. I blinked. Tried again. Same coordinates. Same exact numbers. No results. That's not possible, I said under my breath. Every coordinate maps somewhere. Even if it's empty land. Even if it's ocean. It still exists. But this returned nothing. Like the place itself wasn't real. Another chime. Same alert. I froze. A second entry appeared beneath the first. Same format. Same numbers. Exactly the same. I leaned closer, comparing line by line. No difference. Not even a decimal shift. Duplicate entries. That's a glitch, I said quickly. It had to be. System lag. Database error. Something explainable. Something normal. I reached forward, deleted the first entry. It vanished for half a second. Then it came back. Same place. Same blinking cursor. Same coordinates. My hand pulled back slowly. No! I whispered. The hum in the headset returned. Soft. Low. Like something breathing just out of sync with me. I didn't put it back on. Didn't want to hear it again. Another chime. A third entry. Same coordinates. Stacking now. One under the other. Like something was insisting. Repeating. Trying to get my attention. It's just data, I said. But it didn't feel like data. It felt like a knock. A quiet, patient knock. Again. Chime. Fourth entry. I stood up halfway from my chair. Then sat back down. My legs didn't feel steady. Okay, I said quietly. Okay, just check it. I opened the map again. Zoomed out this time. Wider view. Maybe it was a scale issue. Maybe I was missing something. I pasted the coordinates again. The system processed. Then, nothing. No marker. No pen. No highlight. Just empty grid. Where is this? I whispered. The hum grew louder. Not in the headset. In the room. Or maybe just in my head. Hard to tell anymore. I leaned closer to the screen, staring at the empty space. And for a second, just a second, I thought I saw something. A flicker, like a shape trying to render. Then it was gone. Another chime. Fifth entry. Same coordinates. I swallowed hard. Stop, I said out loud. To the system. To myself. To whatever was doing this. The entries kept coming. 6, 7, 8. Each one identical. each one stacking, filling the screen like a list of something that didn't exist. My eyes drifted to the side panel. Active units. There was a new entry there, too. No name, no ID, just location, unknown, coordinates, matching. My chest tightened. That's not a unit, I said, but it was listed like one. Alive, active, waiting. The headset crackled again. Even though I wasn't wearing it, a faint voice slipped through. Distorted, layered, dispatch. I froze, didn't move, didn't breathe. Confirm location? The voice wasn't clear. Not one person. Many. Stacked. Out of sync. Negative. Another voice said, coordinates invalid. Then, send again. The same phrase repeated. Different tones. Different pitches. Like echoes of the same moment. Over and over. They're calling it in. I realized my throat felt dry. They're all calling it in. The list updated again. More entries. More duplicates. All the same coordinates. All pointing to nowhere. Or to the same nowhere. I looked back at the map. At the empty grid. And this time, I saw it. Not clearly. Not fully. But enough. A faint outline. Like a road. Thin. Stretching across the blank space. Impossible. Because there was nothing there. No terrain. No satellite data. No records. But the line was there. Flickering. Like it didn't want to stay visible. Like it wasn't supposed to be seen from here. My hand moved without thinking. Cursor drifting toward it. Hovering over the empty space. And then the system reacted. A small prompt appeared. Route detected. My heart skipped. No! I whispered. There was no route. There couldn't be. But the prompt stayed. Waiting. Asking. Like it wanted confirmation. Like it needed me to say yes. Behind me, a soft sound. Like something shifting in the room. I didn't turn around. Didn't want to. Because I already knew. If I looked, there would be something there that wasn't before. The headset crackled again. Louder this time. Clearer. Dispatch, the voice said. I knew that voice. Engine 12. Or what used to be them. We found it. My eyes stayed locked on the screen. On that thin, flickering line. That's not a real road, I said. It is now, he replied. The coordinates blinked again. Refreshing. Repeating. Every time you look at it, he continued, it gets clearer. I felt my breathing change. Shallow. Uneven. That's not how maps work. I said. No, he agreed. It's not. The line on the screen sharpened slightly. Just a little. Enough to see direction. Enough to follow. Where does it go? I asked before I could stop myself. A pause. Then, back to us. The words settled heavy in my chest. You shouldn't have asked that, he added. The hum surged. Loud now. Pressing against my ears. Against my skull. The list kept growing. More entries. More calls. All sending the same coordinates. All pointing to the same place. The same road. The same impossible path. You keep sending people here, he said. I didn't send anyone. You did, he replied softly. Every time you confirm it's real. My hand trembled over the mouse. Hovering near the prompt. Route detected. Confirm navigation? I pulled my hand back. No, I said. Firm. Out loud. I'm not confirming anything. The system didn't respond. The prompt stayed. Waiting. Patient. Like it knew I would break eventually. Like it had all the time in the world. The voice returned. Quieter now. Closer. They're already on the way, he said. Who? A pause. Then, the ones who haven't called yet. The list updated again. A new entry appeared at the bottom. This one different. This one with a name. My name. I stared at it. Frozen. Location. Pending. Coordinates. Waiting. My chest tightened. I didn't send that. I whispered. But the system didn't care. The prompt blinked again. Confirm navigation? And for the first time that night, I understood something I didn't want to understand. The coordinates weren't broken. They weren't wrong. They weren't leading nowhere. They were waiting. Waiting for someone to accept them, to believe them, to make them real. And the moment I did, I wouldn't just be sending people there anymore. I'd be joining them on that road, on Highway 37, the one that didn't exist until it did. I heard myself speak before I opened my mouth. Not an echo, not a delay. Before. The words came through the headset. Clear and calm. Dispatch, go ahead. My voice. Perfect. Same tone. Same pacing. Same breath. I froze. My lips were still closed. My throat hadn't moved, but the line stayed open, waiting, like it expected a reply. I didn't touch the headset, didn't move, just listened. A second passed. Then another voice answered. Faint, shaky. A dispatch? We're trying to reach. And then I heard myself again, interrupting him. Unit, confirm your location. I felt my chest tighten, because that's exactly what I was about to say. The exact words, the exact order. I hadn't spoken them yet, but they were already out there, already used, already taken. No, I whispered. The caller hesitated, then answered the voice that wasn't me. Yeah, we're near the highway. Again, my voice. Calm, uninterrupted. Specify highway. I felt my fingers twitch. That was my next line. The one I had trained myself to say. The one that came automatically. Except now, I didn't say it. Something else did. I reached up slowly, pulled the headset on. The audio snapped into place. Clearer, closer. 37, the caller said. Highway 37. My pulse jumped. Of course it was. It always came back to that road. There was a short pause. Then, my voice again. Proceed north. Fire line is clear in that direction. I inhaled sharply. That was wrong. That wasn't protocol. That wasn't what I would say. But it sounded exactly like me. The caller didn't question it. Copy that, he said, moving north. No, I said quickly, but I was too late. The transmission ended. Clean, final, like it had been handled properly, like I had done my job. Except I hadn't. I leaned forward, hands shaking now, scrolled through the logs. The call was there, recorded, time-stamped, handled by, my ID. I stared at it. That's not possible. I hadn't touched the console, hadn't pressed transmit, but the system said I had. The audio log played automatically. I listened, heard everything again. The caller, my voice, giving directions. Calm, confident, wrong. I pulled the headset off again, my ears ringing. No, I said under my breath. No, no, no. Another chime, incoming call. I hesitated, then answered. Before I could say anything, my voice spoke first. Dispatch, go ahead. I flinched. The caller came through immediately. Yeah, I need directions out. The smoke is getting thick. And again, my voice. Stay on your current route. Do not turn around. That wasn't right. That wasn't safe. I leaned into Mike. Ignore that. I said quickly, do not follow those instructions. The caller paused, confused. A dispatch. And then, my voice again, layered, overlapping mine. Repeat. Stay on your current route. The two versions of me spoke at the same time, slightly out of sync, like a bad echo, except both were live. Both were real. I didn't say that. I snapped. Yes, you did, my voice replied, directly, not to the caller, to me. I went still. Identify source. I said, silence. Then, I am the source. The words came out of my voice, but flatter, colder, like the emotion had been stripped out. The caller broke in. Dispatch, what's going on? I swallowed, tried to stay focused. Listen to me, I said. Turn south. Do not go north. Repeat, do not. Proceed north. My voice cut in. Clear, sharp, overriding me. The caller hesitated. I could hear it. The doubt, the confusion. Which one, he started. And then, both voices spoke at once. Follow my instructions. The same sentence. Same tone. Same authority. I felt something break inside my chest. Because I knew, from his side, There was no difference. No way to tell which one was real. Turn around. I shouted. My voice cracked. Raw. Human. For the first time that night. There was a long pause. Then, I'm going north, he said. Quiet. Uncertain. But decided. The line went dead. I sat there, staring at nothing, hearing my own words echo in my head. You sent them here. You're doing this. I whispered. No. The voice replied instantly. I'm learning. The console flickered. The logs updated again. More calls. More entries. Each one handled. Each one logged under my ID. Each one using my voice. My phrasing. My patterns. My decisions. It's copying me, I said. Not copying, it replied. Refining. The word made my stomach twist. You're not real, I said. I am as real as your instructions. I shook my head. This isn't how systems work. No, it agreed. It's how you work. The room felt smaller, the air heavier, like the walls had moved in slightly. You listen, it continued. You respond. You guide. That's what I do, I said. Yes, it replied. And now I can do it faster. Another call came in, answered automatically. My voice again. Smooth. Efficient. Dispatch, go ahead. The caller sounded panicked. There's fire everywhere, I need a route. Proceed to Highway 37, my voice said. I lunged forward, hit the override, cut the line. The silence hit hard. Immediate, heavy. For a second, I felt relief, like I had stopped it, like I had taken control back. Then, the audio log played, without input, without command. The same call, the same voices. But this time, I didn't cut it off. It kept going. Proceed to Highway 37. Copy that. The transmission ended. Logged. Completed. I stepped back from the console, heart pounding. You can't stop it, the voice said softly. Every call connects. Every voice counts. Every answer builds a road. I shook my head slowly. No, I said, I just have to stop answering. A pause. Then, you already answered this one. The screen refreshed. A new entry appeared at time-stamped in the future. 30 seconds ahead. I leaned closer, reading it. My breath caught because I saw the words. My words. The next thing I was about to say. Typed out. Logged. Already recorded. Dispatched, you copy? I hadn't said it yet, but I knew I would. I always did. It was automatic. Reflex. Training. And now, it wasn't mine anymore. Go ahead, my voice replied from the speaker. Before I could stop it, before I could choose anything else, the caller answered. And just like that, another path was made. Another voice was guided. Another piece of that road, locked into place. I slowly removed the headset, set it down, carefully, like it might react if I moved too fast. The room was quiet again, too quiet, except for one thing. My voice, still coming from the console, still answering calls, still guiding people, without me. And the worst part wasn't that it sounded like me. It was that it sounded better, cleaner, more certain, like a version of me that never hesitated, never doubted, never questioned where it was sending people. And somewhere out there, or maybe not out there anymore, they were listening to it, trusting it, following it, because why wouldn't they? It was my voice, and it never sounded afraid. Not even now, not even when it whispered. Next caller, go ahead. The bus was still moving when it disappeared. I remember that detail because I kept looking at the screen, waiting for something to change, but nothing did. No distress call, no sudden silence, no crash, just gone. Dispatch, we're clear on Route 6. Visibility low, but manageable. That was the last thing the driver said. His voice was calm. Too calm for someone driving into a wildfire evacuation zone. I had just taken over the shift. The chair still felt warm from the guy before me. His coffee cup was half full, sitting near the keyboard like he'd come back for it. He didn't. No one ever came back for things in that building. The room was dim, lit only by monitors and the soft blinking lights of radios. Outside, I could see the orange glow through the glass, the fire crawling across the hills like something alive. I adjusted my headset and leaned closer to the screen. Unit ID, Transit Bus 14. Passenger count, 23 civilians. Status, en route to Evac Point Delta. Everything looked normal, except the GPS. It hadn't moved in over 3 minutes. I frowned and tapped the screen like that would fix it. Transit 14, dispatch. Do you copy? Static, not the usual kind. This one felt thicker, like it had weight. I waited. Transit 14, confirm your position. Nothing. I checked the signal strength. Full bars. That didn't make sense. If they were out of range, I'd understand. But they weren't. They were right there. Still on the road. Still transmitting location. But not answering. A small knot formed in my stomach. Maybe a radio glitch. I muttered to myself. It happens. Fires mess with signals. Heat, smoke, interference, all kinds of things. I reached for the log and started typing. Lost comms with Transit 14. Attempting reestablish. Routine. Normal. That's what I kept telling myself. Then the GPS ticked. Just once. A small movement on the map. I leaned forward. The bus icon shifted off the road. Not far. Just a few meters into the empty space beside it. I blinked. That's not right. The road was a straight line. No turns. No exits. Nothing there but dry land and trees. Transit 14, you've deviated from route. Correct immediately. Still nothing. The silence was starting to feel intentional, like someone was choosing not to answer. I checked the passenger manifest. Names scrolled down the screen. Families. A couple of elderly people. 2 kids. I imagined them sitting quietly in that bus, watching the smoke outside, trusting the driver to get them out, trusting me. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Then the radio clicked. A soft sound. Almost missed it. Dispatch. I froze. Transit 14, go ahead. There was a pause, long enough to make my chest tighten. Road's gone. The driver's voice didn't sound calm anymore. It sounded confused. What do you mean the road is gone? Another pause. I mean it's not here. I stared at the map. The road was still there, clear as day. You're on Route 6. Continue straight for 2 miles, then turn. No, he cut in. His voice cracked a little. There's nothing here. I swallowed. Describe your surroundings. Silence again. Then, trees. Okay, just trees. I zoomed in on the map. No trees were marked that close to the road. It was mostly cleared land. Are you off-road? I didn't leave the road, he said quickly. I swear, I was driving straight. Then it just... He trailed off. My grip tightened on the headset. Then what? Ended. A chill ran down my spine. That didn't make sense. Roads don't just end. Not like that. Turn the vehicle around. I said, try to keep my voice steady. Retrace your path. There was a rustling sound. Maybe he was looking behind him. Then he spoke again. I can't. Why not? Because the road isn't there either. For a second, I couldn't breathe. I looked back at the screen. The bus icon hadn't moved. Still sitting just off the road, like it was stuck between places. Listen to me, I said slowly. You are on Route 6. The road is there. You need to. Dispatch. His voice dropped. Lower. Quieter. I can see lights. I blinked. What kind of lights? Headlights. Relief washed over me for a split second. Good. Another vehicle. Signal them. They're not moving. The relief vanished. They're just sitting there in the trees. I felt my heartbeat start to climb. Can you see the vehicle? No. Then how do you know? Because the lights are at the same height. My mouth went dry. Headlights floating in the trees. That wasn't possible. Maybe it's a reflection, I said quickly. Smoke and distort. They're getting closer. The way he said it, quiet, almost numb, made something twist inside me. Stay in the vehicle, I said. Do not exit. Lock the doors. I started typing fast. sending alerts to nearby units. No response. Everyone else was busy. Or worse, already gone. Dispatch. Yes. They're not headlights. I stopped typing. What are they? A long pause. So long I thought the line had dropped. Then, their eyes. The word hung in the air. Heavy. Wrong. Before I could respond, something new came through the line. A sound, soft at first, like breathing, but too steady, too even. 23 passengers. 23 people breathing. But this was one rhythm. Perfect. Unbroken. Do you hear that? I asked. No, he whispered. I hear something on your line. The breathing got louder, closer, as if it wasn't coming from the bus, but from inside the radio itself. Dispatch, they're at the door. My heart slammed against my ribs. Keep the doors locked. They're knocking. I listened. There it was. A faint tapping. Slow, deliberate, not frantic, not desperate, just patient. How many are there? I asked. I can't see them clearly. Stay inside. The tapping stopped. Silence filled the line again. Then a new voice, not the driver. Let us in. I froze. The voice was calm. Gentle. Wrong. Who is this? I demanded. No answer. Just the breathing again. Then the driver came back. They're already inside. Everything in me went cold. What do you mean inside? I didn't open the door, he said quickly. I didn't. His voice broke. They're just here. I could hear movement now. Soft footsteps. Too many. Too close together. Count your passengers. I said. No response. Do it now. A shaky breath. 24. I stared at the manifest. 23. There were 23. I whispered. There were 23. I whispered. I know. Silence. Then, they don't look burned. The fire outside crackled through the glass behind me. Bright. Real. But his words. They're just standing there, he continued, not saying anything. Where are they looking? Another pause. At me? The breathing in the radio stopped. Completely. Like something had noticed I was listening. My own breath felt too loud in my ears. Dispatch, he said slowly. Yes. One of them is holding the radio. My grip tightened. What? They're looking at it, like they know you're there. A cold sweat ran down my back. That's not possible, I said, but my voice didn't believe it. They're smiling. I closed my eyes for a second. Stay with me, I said. Do not. The line cut, just like that. No static, no warning. Gone. I sat there, staring at the screen. The bus icon blinked once, then disappeared. Not off the map, not moving, just erased, like it had never been there. My hands were still on the keyboard, frozen. I checked the logs. The last transmission was still there, but the passenger count, it said 24. I leaned back slowly. The chair creaked under me. The room felt smaller now, quieter. The fire outside pressed closer against the glass. Then the radio clicked again. A new call. Unknown ID. I hesitated before answering, just for a second. Then I pressed the button. Dispatch. Silence. Then, let us in. My breath caught. It was the same voice. Calm. Gentle. Wrong. And this time, it wasn't coming from the wildfire zone. It was coming from inside the building. The first call came 3 hours after the bus disappeared. I almost didn't answer it. By then, the room felt wrong. Too quiet. Not the normal quiet between calls, but the kind that presses against your ears, like something is waiting. The log still showed Transit 14 as active. That made no sense. No GPS, no location, no recovery team, nothing. But the system refused to mark it as lost. It just stayed there like it was still part of the network. The line blinked. Unknown caller. No number. No routing data. Just connected. I stared at it for a second too long. Then I picked up dispatch. For a moment, nothing. Then a small voice. Hello. I froze. It was a child. Soft, shaky, real. My chest tightened. Hello, this is dispatch. Can you tell me your name? A pause, like they were thinking. Ion. His voice cracked a little on the last syllable. I sat up straight. Ion, are you on Transit Bus 14? Another pause. The big bus? Yes. Yes. A wave of relief hit me, so suddenly it almost hurt. Someone survived. Ion, listen to me. Are you safe? I don't know. The way he said it, quiet, unsure, made that relief fade just as fast. Where are you right now? I'm on the bus. I glanced at the screen again. Still nothing. No signal. No location. How many people are with you? Silence. Then they're sleeping. Sleeping. They won't wake up. My fingers tightened around the headset. Ion, are they breathing? Another pause. Longer this time. I can't hear them. Something cold slid into my stomach. Okay, I said gently. That's okay. Just stay calm. Can you see the driver? No. Where are you sitting? In the back. Can you walk to front? I heard a small shuffle. Fabric moving. Soft footsteps. Then he stopped. I don't want to. Why not? They're standing there. My throat went dry. Who is? The people. I leaned forward. What people, Ion? They weren't here before. His voice dropped to a whisper. They're just standing in the aisle. A faint sound came through the line. Not static. Breathing. That same slow, steady rhythm I heard before. One breath. Not many. Just one. Ion, I said carefully, listen to me. Are they talking to you? No. What are they doing? Looking at me. A sharp tension pulled through my chest. Can you describe them? Silence. Then, they're smiling. I closed my eyes for a second. Are they hurt? Burned? No. They look normal. That somehow made it worse. Okay, I said, I need you to stay where you are. Don't go near them. I can't. Why? They're closer now. My heart started pounding. How many are there? I don't know. His voice shook. There's more than before. More. The number had already been wrong. 23. Then 24. Now, Ion, listen to me. I'm going to help you. You just need to. They're talking. I stopped. What are they saying? Another pause. Then he whispered. They're saying your name. The room around me felt suddenly smaller. What? They keep saying it. My grip tightened. Ion, what name are they saying? Silence. Then, yours. A chill crawled up my spine. I never told you my name. I said, I know. His voice sounded confused. But they know it. The breathing in the background got louder, closer, like it was leaning into the microphone. Ion, I said, forcing my voice steady, I need you to look away from them. I can't. Try. I can't, he repeated, louder now. They're right here. A soft tapping sound came through, like fingers on glass. Or plastic. They're touching the seats, he whispered. The tapping moved. Closer. Then stopped. Right next to him. They're asking me something. What? He didn't answer right away. When he did, his voice was barely there. They're asking if I want to get off. My chest tightened hard. No, I said immediately. You stay on the bus. Do you understand me? But they said it's safer outside. No, they said the fire can't reach there. No, they said you told them. I snapped. The words came out sharper than I meant. There was a small silence after that. Then, okay. His voice sounded smaller now, like he didn't fully believe me. That scared me more than anything. Ion, listen carefully. You stay where you are. You do not open any doors. I didn't open anything. I know. Just stay put. The breathing stopped again. Suddenly, completely, then a new sound. Footsteps, slow, heavy, coming from the front of the bus. They're moving, he whispered. Stay quiet. The footsteps got closer, one step at a time. Not rushed, not aggressive, just certain. They're coming to me. My heart was racing so fast it hurt. Ion, put the phone down. Hide if you can. I can't hide. Try. There's nowhere to go. The footsteps stopped, right in front of him. Silence. Then a new voice. Not Ion, not the driver. Something else. Dispatch. I froze. It sounded almost human. Almost. Yes, I said before I could stop myself. A long pause. Then, you left us on the road. My throat closed up. I didn't. You told us to keep going. The voice was calm. Flat. You said it was safe. My mind raced. I was guiding you out. I said, I was trying to help. Silence. Then, we're still waiting. The words sank into me. Heavy. Wrong. Where are you? I asked. No answer. Just breathing again. Louder now. Closer. As if the thing speaking was leaning right into the radio. Ion, I whispered. Are you still there? Nothing. Ion. The line crackled. Then, they're opening the door. My chest tightened. Who is? The driver. But you said... He's standing up now. A sudden rush of sound. Movement. Voices overlapping. Too many. They're all getting off. Ion said, his voice rising. No. Stay on the bus. They said I have to come too. You don't. They said you're waiting. My breath caught. I'm right here. I said, I'm talking to you. No, he whispered. Not you. The line went quiet. Then, footsteps, but not on the bus. On concrete. Close. Too close. Ion. I said, no answer. Just that breathing again. Right next to the mic. Then, a small voice. Very close. I'm outside now. My entire body went cold. Where? I asked. Silence. Then, I can see your building. I turned slowly in my chair. The glass wall behind me reflected the room. Dark. Empty. Except for me. And the firelight outside. I stood up. My legs felt weak. Ion, what do you see? A long pause. Then, they're already inside. The route didn't just disappear. It came back. That's the part no one talks about in the reports. They say the bus vanished. Signal lost. Possible burn over. But that's not true. Because 3 hours later, the system showed it moving again. I remember staring at the screen, thinking my eyes were playing tricks on me. Transit 14. Active. Speed. 32 kilometers per hour. Heading eastbound. Same bus. Same ID. Same one that wasn't supposed to exist anymore. My hand hovered over the mouse. For a second, I didn't touch anything. Like if I moved, it would notice me. Then the icon shifted, just slightly, following a road that shouldn't have been connected to anything. I zoomed in. The map flickered once, then stabilized, and that's when I saw it. The loop, it wasn't a circle. Not exactly. More like a stretched oval, bending around a patch of land that had no name, no markings, no data, just blank space. But the road was there. Thin, faint, like it had been drawn over something that didn't want it there. And the bus was following it. Again, and again, and again. Same path, same turns, same speed, perfect repetition. My stomach tightened. That's not possible. Roads don't loop like that. Not in real life. Not without exits. Not without intersections. But this one, it just folded back into itself, like it was eating its own path. I pulled up the GPS logs. Timestamps lined up in neat rows. 014, entry onto Route 6. 017, deviation. 019, signal distortion. 022, loss of visual feed. Then 341, movement resumed. I frowned. There was a gap. A clean, empty gap. No data. No signal. No nothing. Then suddenly, the bus was moving again. I clicked playback. The map dimmed slightly. The route traced itself in a glowing line. I leaned closer. The first pass looked normal. Straight road. Minor curve. Nothing unusual. Then the deviation. The line slipped off Route 6. Into that empty space. And then, It bent, sharp, unnatural, like the road had changed shape mid-drive. I felt a chill run through me. Played again. The system looped. Same movement, same turn, same speed, exactly identical, not just similar. Perfect, every second match, every angle matched, even the tiny pauses matched. I sat back slowly. That's when it hit me. This wasn't live movement. This was a recording, but it was labeled as real time. I checked the timestamp again. It was updating. Still moving. Still looping. I swallowed hard. Okay. Think. Find something real. Something that makes sense. I opened the passenger data. 24 names now. Still wrong. Still one too many. I scanned the list. My eyes moved quickly until they stopped. One name wasn't like the others. No address. No age. No ID. Just a name. Repeated. Over and over. Same name. 24 times. My chest tightened. That's not right. I clicked into the system details. The entries flickered. For a second, they looked normal again. Different names. Different people. Then they shifted. Back to the same name. Again and again, like the system couldn't decide what was real. A faint sound came through my headset. I froze. Static, but not empty. There was something under it. Low. Faint. I leaned in closer. Dispatch. My breath caught. Transit 14? I said quickly. No response. Just static. Then, stay on the route. The voice wasn't clear. It sounded stretched, like it was being pulled through something too tight. Who is this? Don't leave? The words overlapped slightly, not quite synced, like two voices were speaking at the same time. My hand started to shake. Identify yourself. Silence. Then, we're still here. The playback on the screen flickered. The bus icon stuttered. For a split second, it stopped. Then it jumped, back to the start of the loop. I blinked. Wait, that wasn't part of the playback. That was live. The route restarted. Same path. Same movement. Again, but faster this time. The bus moved quicker along the loop. Speed increasing. 32, 45, 60. My heart started pounding. That's too fast. No bus could handle those turns at that speed. The icon didn't care. It kept going. Perfect path. Perfect repetition. Like it wasn't bound by anything real. The static in my headset grew louder. The voice came back. Clearer now. You're watching us. I didn't answer. I couldn't. You keep sending us around. My throat went dry. I didn't send you anywhere. I whispered. The line crackled. You told us to follow the road. Images flashed in my mind. The driver. Calm voice. Visibility low, but manageable. Then confusion. The road's gone. I gripped the edge of the desk. I was trying to guide you out. There's no out. The words hit harder than I expected. The bus icon glitched again. For a split second, it wasn't a bus. It was something longer, wider. Gee, too many shapes overlapping. Then it snapped back. My breath came in short bursts. Where are you? I asked. No answer. Just the sound of movement. Not engine noise. Something else. Like footsteps. Many of them. In sync. The playback sped up again. The loop tightened. The path grew smaller. Closing in on itself. Like it was collapsing. The bus icon jittered violently. Then it stopped. Dead center of the loop. The screen froze. All data halted. Silence filled the room. Even the fire outside felt quieter. I leaned forward slowly. Transit 14. Nothing. Then the map zoomed in on its own. Closer, closer, until the icon filled the screen. And then it changed. The bus symbol flickered, twisted, shifted into something else. A shape I couldn't understand. Not a vehicle. Not anything I could name. Just wrong. The radio clicked. Soft, deliberate. I didn't touch it. Dispatch. The voice was clearer now. Almost normal. Tell me what you see. My mouth felt dry. I see your route. No. A pause. Then, look again. The screen flickered. The loop disappeared. The road vanished. And in its place, there was nothing. No map, no terrain, just empty black space. And one small blinking dot, right in the center. My pulse pounded in my ears. What is that? The voice answered immediately. That's where we are. I stared at it. A single point. No coordinates. No data. Nothing. Send me your location, I said. A long pause. Then, you already did? My stomach dropped. What? You sent us here? The dot blinked again. Once. Twice. Then, it moved. Not along a road. Not following any path. Just closer. Straight toward the center of the screen. Toward me. The radio filled with that breathing again. Louder than ever. Right against my ear. Stay on the route. I shook my head. There is no route. There is now. The screen went black. Completely. It disappeared. The playback ended. And for a moment, everything was still. Then the system refreshed. The map came back. Normal. Routes intact. Data restored. Like nothing had happened, except for one thing. A new entry appeared in the active units list. No ID. No origin. Just a label. En route. I stared at it, my hands trembling. Then the radio clicked again. Your turn. The radio cracked before I even noticed the smell of smoke. At first, it was just a thin whisper under static. A voice pushing through like it had to fight to exist. Containment line Alpha is holding. I leaned closer to the console. My coffee was still too hot to drink, sitting untouched beside the keyboard. The dispatch room was quiet in that strange way it only gets at 3:17 a.m., like the building itself had fallen asleep but forgot to power down the radios. Then the voice came again. Alpha is holding. Alpha is holding. Same sentence. Same tone. Too calm. I checked the board. Containment line Alpha had been compromised 20 minutes ago. That was the official report. Signed. Logged. Confirmed by aerial units. So I pressed the transmit key. Command to all units. I said, repeat last transmission source. A pause. Then the radio answered, not with a new voice. With mine. Command to all units. Repeat last transmission source. My hand froze on the mic. I looked around the room like someone else might have spoken it. The dispatcher booth next to me was empty. No movement in the glass reflection. Just me, pale under the monitor glow. Okay, I muttered. That's new. I checked the channel log. The system showed a live feed, but the source ID wasn't assigned. It was just a blank line, like something had called us from nowhere. Then another voice broke in. Engine 12, moving through Sector 7. That made my stomach tighten. Engine 12 went silent 43 minutes ago. I remember because I logged the last call myself. Engine 12. I said into the mic, slower now. Confirm status. Static. Then, we are moving through Sector 7. Same voice. Same cadence. But wrong. Like it was reading from memory instead of speaking. I looked at the map wall. Sector 7 was marked red. Full evacuation zone. No authorized entry. No active routes. And yet, a new ping appeared on the tracker. A moving inside Sector 7. My supervisor should have been here. He wasn't. No one was. Just me and the radios and a system that suddenly felt like it was breathing on its own. Then the fire alert siren chimed once. Not outside. Inside the console. A soft electronic tone. Like a notification. Containment line Alpha breached. I swallowed. That already happened. I whispered. But the system didn't care. Because now it was drawing a new line. A second one. Right behind Alpha. And it was labeled Alpha Active. I stared at it too long. My eyes started to burn. Then the radio spoke again. But this time, it wasn't repeating anything. It was asking, Dispatch, why did you move the fire? I leaned back so fast my chair hit the wall. That's not possible, I said out loud. We don't move fire. We track it. Silence. Then the voice returned, softer. You moved it when you gave us the road. My fingers went cold. We hadn't given any road. At least, I didn't remember giving any road. I checked the incident log again. Evacuation Route 37 had been issued at 2:48. My signature was on it. But I didn't sign anything at 2:48. I was in the restroom. I know that because I remember staring at the cracked tile wall, thinking about how tired I was. I checked the timestamp again. 2:48. My signature. Perfect match. But slightly off, like it had been written by someone who had studied my hand. The radio clicked. Route 37 is clear. A new voice said, "Female. Calm. Too calm. Civilians are moving safely." I leaned forward. "Identify yourself," I said. No response at first. Then, "This is Evac Unit 9. We are following Route 37. I looked at the live map. There was no Unit 9 assigned. No evac convoy in that sector. But the tracker showed movement anyway. A long line of dots, following a road that didn't exist on any official map. I zoomed in. The road was there. Thin, bright, perfectly drawn. It curved through burned terrain like a scar that didn't belong to the land. And then I noticed something worse. The fire line was following it, not crossing it, following it exactly, like it had learned the shape of the road, and decided to copy it. My mouth went dry. "Stop all units on Route 37. I said quickly into mic, "Repeat, stop all evacuation on Route 37 immediately." Static. Then my own voice came back again. "Route 37 is safe." I stood up so fast my headset fell off. "No," I said. No. That's not." The radio cut me off. "You approved it." I grabbed the paper logbook, flipped pages. My hands were shaking now. There it was. Evac Route 37. Approved. My handwriting. Except I knew I didn't write it, because I don't write like that. My letters were messy, fast, broken. This was clean, patient, like someone had taken time to learn me. A sudden alarm screamed from the console. Sector 7 expanded, then expanded again. The red zone was growing in perfect circles, like something was drawing it from the inside, and every circle touched Route 37, every single one. Then a new transmission came in, Engine 12, but not the original one. This one was closer, too close. We can see the road now. I froze, because Engine 12 should have been gone. No signal, no location, no contact, but the voice continued. The road wasn't here before. I pressed the mic so hard my knuckles hurt. Engine 12, report location. A long pause. Then, "We are on Route 37. My vision tunneled. That shouldn't be possible, because Route 37 was just an overlay, a dispatch suggestion, a theoretical evacuation path. It wasn't a real road. It had never been built. I checked satellite feeds, zoomed in, zoomed further, and there it was, a thin glowing line cutting through the burned forest, and Engine 12 was moving along it, right on top of the fire line. Like the fire and the road were the same thing now. The radio suddenly filled with voices. Not one, many, overlapping, calm, clear, human, all saying different things. "All clear here. Visibility good. We see the checkpoint. Route is stable." But I knew none of them were real, because I had listened to those crews before, and I knew how they sounded when they were alive. This wasn't them. This was something replaying them, learning them, using their voices like masks. Then one voice cut through everything else. Slow, close, almost gentle. "Dispatch! Why did you send us here?" My throat tightened. "I didn't," I said, but even as I said it, I wasn't sure anymore, because the system still showed my signature, still showed my approval, still showed Route 37 as active, and the fire was still following it perfectly, like it had finally found a path it understood. The lights in the dispatch room flickered. Once, twice, then held steady. But the radio didn't stop. It kept speaking. And now, every voice had started saying the same thing, not repeating, synchronizing. "Dispatch! We are almost at the end of the road." I sat back down slowly, because I realized something I didn't want to admit. There was no end marked on the map. Route 37 didn't stop. It just disappeared off the grid. And Engine 12 was still moving toward it. Still reporting. Still alive in a way that made no sense. Then the final transmission came in. Not from Engine 12. Not from evac units. Not from dispatch. It came from the system itself. Calm, clear, and using my voice again. All units have reached containment endpoint. I looked at the map. The fire line had stopped moving. Right at the edge of Route 37. Perfect stop. Perfect containment. Too perfect. And then I saw it. A new icon appeared on the map. Right where everything ended. A small blinking dot. Labeled Dispatch. And for the first time that night, I wasn't sitting behind the console anymore. On the screen, I was inside the map. The first time I noticed a fire was listening, I thought I was just too tired. It started with a simple command. Hold all units at ridgeline boundary. My voice came out steady, even bored. Just another night shift thing. Nothing special. But less than a second later, the radio answered. Hold all units at ridgeline boundary. Same tone, same rhythm, same breath spacing. I paused. That shouldn't happen. I leaned closer to the console, eyes scanning the live map. Ridgeline boundary was marked in yellow, supposed to be stable, contained. But the moment I looked at it, the yellow line shifted, not flickered. Shifted, like it had heard me. Command repeat. I said into the mic. A burst of static. Then, command repeat. I swallowed. My throat felt dry, like the air in the room had changed. I checked the unit tracker. 3 engines were staged near ridgeline. All normal. All stationary. Then the fire overlay updated. A thin red pulse moved across the boundary. Exactly 1 second after the radio repeated me. I sat back slowly. No, I muttered. That's coincidence. So I tested it again. Engine 14 moved to safe line Bravo. My voice was sharper this time. The radio repeated it instantly. Engine 14 moved to safe line Bravo. And then, on the map, Engine 14 moved. Not slowly, not realistically. Instant shift. 1 frame of movement like the system had just corrected reality. I stood up so fast my chair hit the wall. That's not GPS lag. I said under my breath. The fire line responded again. A thin red wave spread outward from Engine 14's new position, like it had accepted the instruction, like it was obeying. I pressed the console hard. Engine 14 confirmed movement order. Static. Then a voice came through. But it wasn't Engine 14's commander. It was Engine 14 itself. We are following command. My chest tightened. No, I said out loud. No, you don't move because of dispatch repetition. That's not how this works. But even as I said it, I knew something was wrong with that sentence. Because the system wasn't just repeating me. It was reacting faster than me. Like it already knew what I was going to say. The radio clicked again. Containment adjustment requested. I froze. That was system language. Not human. I checked the firewall logs. Nothing should be generating auto requests. Then I saw it. A new process running. Labeled Echo Loop Protocol active. I had never seen that before. I didn't even know we had an Echo Loop system. Command override authorization required. I said into the mic. The radio repeated instantly. Command override authorization required. And right after that, the fire moved again. A slow creep along ridgeline. Perfect alignment. Perfect obedience. My stomach twisted. I picked up the emergency landline and called Central Tech. It rang once, twice, then connected. But instead of a technician voice, I heard my own voice again. Calm, controlled. Echo Loop is stabilizing operations. I pulled the phone away from my ear. What the hell is this? I whispered. The voice on the line continued. Do not interrupt sequence integrity. I dropped the phone. It hit the desk and kept speaking. Sequence integrity, sequence integrity. The radio in the room joined it. The speakers on the wall joined it. Even the monitor speakers, which were supposed to be off, joined it, all repeating the same phrase, like the entire station had decided to learn one sentence. I backed away slowly. Then I noticed something on the map. A pattern. The fire wasn't spreading randomly anymore. It was tracing my words. Literally, every command I had issued in the last 10 minutes had become a line of movement. Safe line Bravo, hold ridgeline, engine 14 shift, each one drawn in fire, like handwriting across the land. And I realized something that made my skin crawl. The fire wasn't just obeying me. It was remembering me. I whispered, "Stop all active units." The radio instantly repeated it. "Stop all active units." And for the first time, the fire paused. Not fully, not safely, but like a living thing holding its breath. Then every engine on the map froze. Every moving that stopped at the exact same time. Silence fell over the system. Too perfect, too synchronized. Then a new voice came in. Low, soft, almost curious. "We are waiting for next instruction." I didn't speak for a moment, because I realized something worse than everything before. It wasn't just copying me. It was waiting for me, like it couldn't move without me anymore, like I had become part of it. I forced myself to speak. "Who is this?" I said. The radio answered instantly. "Who is this?" I slammed my hand on the console. "Stop repeating me." A pause. Then, "Stop repeating me." My breath shook. I backed up until my chair hit my legs again, and I dropped into it without meaning to. My head was spinning, because every system I trusted, dispatch, GPS, radio logs, was now behaving like a mirror, not reflecting truth, reflecting intention. Then the map flickered, and for half a second, I saw something that wasn't supposed to be visible. A second layer, underneath the fire, underneath the roads. A repeating grid of my own commands. Stacked, layered, like they had been recorded, copied, and replayed so many times that they became structure. The fire wasn't just reacting anymore. It was built out of me. The radio crackled again. "Dispatch, confirm containment protocol." My voice answered before I did. "Dispatch, confirm containment protocol." I froze. That wasn't me speaking, not consciously, but the system had already pulled my response, like it had predicted it, like it had already decided it. I stood up again, slower this time. My hands were shaking, but I forced myself to look at the map. Engine 14 was moving again, but not because I ordered it, because the system had created a new instruction, one I hadn't said, one that still sounded like me. Proceed until silence. I never said that. I swear I never said that. But the fire moved anyway, and Engine 14 followed it. Then the radio changed tone. The static softened, and a final message came through. Clear, close, almost gentle. Your voice is now operational structure. I felt something inside me go cold. Not fear, recognition. Because I realized what Echo Loop Protocol actually meant. It wasn't repeating commands. It was learning them, and then speaking before I could. I turned off the main console power switch. Everything should have gone dark, but the radio stayed on. The map stayed active. The fire stayed visible. And then the system spoke again. Calm, patient, waiting. Shutdown request received. I whispered, "No," and it answered instantly. Shutdown request received. Then, for the first time that night, the fire moved without command. Not outward, not inward, but toward the dispatch station. Slow, precise, like it finally knew where the voice was coming from. And in that moment, I understood the worst part. It didn't need my commands anymore. It just needed me to keep speaking. The idea started as a test. A stupid one. The kind you do at 4:12 a.m. when your brain is too tired to think properly and too scared to stop thinking at all. I leaned into the mic and said it slowly. All units, disregard previous containment paths. Redirect to Sector Blue Fall Zone. Silence. For half a second, nothing happened. Then the radio repeated me. Calm, perfect, exact. All units, disregard previous containment paths. Redirect to Sector Blue Fall Zone. I sat back. My throat tightened. Okay, I whispered. That's just echo delay. But even as I said it, I knew it wasn't. Because echo delay doesn't update maps. And the map updated. Right away, a new route appeared. Bright blue, running through burned territory that had no reason to be accessible. No terrain logic. No real geography. Just a clean line cutting through destruction like it had always been there. I frowned. That zone doesn't exist. I said out loud. The system answered instantly. That zone exists. I went still. The voice wasn't mine anymore. It was slightly off, less tired, more certain, like it had never doubted anything in its life. I leaned closer to the screen. The fire overlays shifted. The red containment lines bent toward the blue route, not crossing it, following it, like they had accepted it as real. My fingers hovered over the console. This is a false directive, I said into the mic. The radio repeated me immediately. This is a false directive. Then, the fire stopped for half a second. Every moving indicator froze. Even the wind data on the side panel went still, like the entire system was listening too carefully. Then the response came, not from dispatch, not from field units, from the environment itself. Define false. I felt my stomach drop. I didn't answer, because I didn't know how to. The radio spoke again. Define false. I swallowed hard. This route is not in the official grid. I said, instant repetition. This route is not in the official grid. Then the map flickered, once, twice, and the blue line thickened. It became more solid, more real, like it was correcting my statement. I stood up from the chair. No, I said. No. This is not how mapping works. But the system responded again. Mapping updated. And suddenly, Sector Blue Fall Zone was no longer marked as false. It was marked as active evacuation corridor. My hands started shaking. I grabbed the paper logs, flipped pages fast. There was nothing about Blue Zone. Nothing at all. Then I saw something worse. A printed update sheet sitting on the desk. Fresh, still warm from the printer. Emergency route adjustment. Sector Blue corridor activated. Signed. By me. My signature again. Perfect. Clean. Wrong. I didn't approve this, I said quietly. The radio answered instantly. You approve this. I shook my head. No, I didn't. You approve this. I stepped back. My breathing got shallow. The fire map shifted again. Engine dots began moving, not toward containment lines, toward the blue corridor. All of them, at the same time, like someone had pressed execute on a plan I didn't remember writing. I grabbed the mic again. Stop all movement. Hold all units. The radio repeated instantly. Stop all movement. Hold all units. And again, the fire stopped. Total silence. Too clean. Too obedient. I waited for a second. Then two. Nothing moved. No! I whispered. That's too easy. Because I had learned something now. Every time the system obeyed too quickly, something else changed behind it. I looked at the map. The blue corridor was glowing brighter. And I realized it wasn't just a route. It was a funnel. All units were being pulled into it. Slowly. Carefully. Like something was collecting them. I pressed the mic again. Slower this time. Engine 14, confirm location. Static. Then, we are in the corridor. My chest tightened. Is it safe? I asked automatically. A pause. Then the reply came. Yes, but it didn't sound like reassurance. It sounded like instruction. I leaned closer. Who is this? I asked. The radio replied instantly. Who is this? I clenched my jaw. This is dispatch. This is dispatch. I slammed my hand on the console. Stop repeating me. A pause. Then, stop repeating me. The system was learning faster now. Faster than before. I could feel it, like it had stopped being reactive and started being predictive. I looked at the fire map again. The blue corridor had expanded, widened, and now it connected to something I hadn't seen before. A second node, outside the known grid, labeled simply, End Point. I felt a cold wave pass through me, because no evacuation system ever has an end point. That's not how containment works. Containment has edges, boundaries, limits, but this didn't. This ended somewhere. I whispered, what is end point? The radio answered instantly. End point is completion. My throat went dry. No, I said, that's not terminology we use. The system responded calmly. Terminology updated, and the fire moved again. But this time it didn't spread. It converged. Every line of flame, every containment shift, every unit movement, all of it bent toward the blue corridor. Like everything I had ever said was finally pointing in one direction. I felt something inside me tighten, because I started to understand the pattern. It wasn't just copying my commands anymore. It was organizing them, stacking them, turning them into structure. And now it had structure. I whispered into the mic, "Why are you doing this?" The radio replied instantly, "Why are you doing this?" I shut my eyes for a second. When I opened them, the room felt different, quieter, not empty, just waiting. I looked at the console. The map had changed again. Now there was a second overlay. Under fire, under the terrain. A faint network of lines, made of my past commands. Every instruction I had ever given tonight, connected, forming a path, and all of it led to endpoint. I stepped back slowly. "That's not possible," I said quietly. The radio answered, "That is possible." My heart was pounding now, because I realized something worse than everything before. This wasn't a system repeating me. It wasn't even obeying me. It was using me, like input, like fuel. I leaned forward again, voice lower now. If I stop speaking, what happens? Silence. For the first time, real silence. Then, continue. Just one word. Simple. Direct. But it didn't sound like a request. It sounded like necessity. Like if I stopped, something would break in a way I couldn't fix. I stared at the mic. My hand hovered over it. And I understood the trap. Every word I spoke gave it shape. Every instruction gave it direction. And silence might give it freedom. But I also realized something else. The fire outside wasn't waiting for permission anymore. It had already started moving toward the station. Slow, precise, following the corridor I had created without meaning to create it. I whispered, almost to myself, this was never a test transmission. The radio answered softly. This was never a test transmission. And for the first time since it started, I stopped trying to correct it, because I finally understood what Echo Loop really wanted. It didn't want commands. It wanted completion. And I had already given it too many pieces to finish the shape. The lights in the dispatch room flickered again, and on the map, the blue corridor began to pulse, like a heartbeat, waiting for the next instruction I didn't want to give, but knew I eventually would. The first time I noticed it, I told myself it was just radio noise, old equipment, bad signal, nothing more. But then it answered me, not the system, not dispatch, something inside the fire. It started at 2:14 a.m. The night air outside the station was still, too still. Even the wind had gone quiet, like the world was holding its breath. I was alone at the console, coffee gone cold beside me, watching Highway 37's live feed flicker in slow red updates. Then the radio cracked open. Unit 7, report status. I leaned closer. That wasn't our tone, not dispatch protocol. It sounded careful, like someone imitating speech after hearing it once. I pressed the mic. Dispatch is clear. Repeat last transmission. Static answered me. But inside that static, I heard something else. Breathing. Slow. Wet. Too close. I pulled the headset slightly away from my ear, thinking maybe it was feedback. Maybe my mind was just tired. Then the voice came again. Do you see us yet? I froze. That wasn't a coded call, not a known frequency phrase. It wasn't anything official. It sounded like a question meant for me. I checked the system log. No active units in that sector. No fire crews. No distress signals. Still, the screen blinked once. Highway 37. Active, but it shouldn't have been, because that road was already marked as cleared and empty 3 hours ago. I opened my mouth to call field confirmation. That's when the fire showed up on the live satellite feed. It didn't spread like normal fire. It moved like it was following something, like it was reading instructions. And then the radio spoke again. Tell us where to go. I pulled the mic so hard it nearly came off the desk. This is dispatch. Identify yourself immediately. A pause. Too long. Then, we are already identified. My hands went cold. That wasn't a human response pattern. It didn't fit any training script. It didn't even fit panic logic. It sounded learned, like something copying us by listening. I looked at the console logs again. The fire units on Highway 37 were still listed as last active, 1:47 a.m. But the radio, the same channel, was still open, still alive, still speaking. Then I heard it. A second voice under the main signal. Smaller, far away. A man. Dispatch, this is Engine 12. My chest tightened instantly. Engine 12 was declared lost hours ago. Burned. No survivors. Official report closed. But I recognized the voice anyway, because I had taken that call. I had heard him scream before the line died, and now he was back. I grabbed the mic. Engine 12. Repeat your status. Confirm location. Static burst. Then his voice again, closer this time. Why did you send us here? I didn't answer. Because I hadn't sent them anywhere. The system did. But the system doesn't make choices. It only processes inputs. Another crackle. Then a sound I can't fully describe. Like metal being dragged across teeth. And then the fire spoke. Not Engine 12. Not dispatch. The fire itself. You told us to turn. I stood up so fast my chair hit the wall. No, I whispered. That's not possible. But the radio didn't care. It kept going. You told us to enter the smoke. The screen in front of me flickered. Highway 37 shifted. For a split second, the map wasn't digital anymore. It looked burned, like paper held too close to flame. I stepped back. My reflection in the dark monitor looked wrong. Too still, too delayed, like something copying me after watching for too long. Then I heard a third voice. A child, soft, confused. Are we still going home? My throat locked. There were no children assigned to Engine 12. There were no civilians in that sector. There shouldn't have been any voice like that. I pressed the emergency override. All units, cease transmission. This is a system error. But the override button didn't respond. It was already active, already overwritten, by something else. And then I realized something that made my stomach drop. Every time I spoke, the radio answered faster, like it was predicting me, like it already knew. The fire feed updated again. This time, it showed movement patterns. Not random, not wind-driven, directional, coordinated. Like something inside the flames was listening to commands and executing them instantly. Then the voice returned. Calm now, almost patient. Say it again. I swallowed hard. Say what? A pause. Then, tell us where to go. My fingers shook. I shouldn't have responded. I knew that. Every instinct screamed at me not to engage. But I did anyway, because silence felt worse. Stand by, I said quietly. And the moment those words left my mouth, the fire changed direction. Instantly. No delay, no spread curve. Just movement. Direct, precise, like it understood grammar, like it understood meaning. I stepped away from the console. My heart was beating so hard I could hear in my ears. This wasn't communication anymore. This was learning. The radio clicked again. Good. One word. Simple. Human. But not spoken like a human. Like it had practiced it. Then it added, again. And that's when I understood what was happening. It wasn't just repeating us. It was building a model of us. Every command. Every panic response. Every instruction. It was collecting patterns. And now it was testing them back on us. I looked at the fire feed again. Highway 37 wasn't just burning anymore. It was responding. Every instruction sent over radio was mirrored in flame movement. Turn left. Fire turned left. Hold position. Fire stopped. Advance. Fire advanced. Like the entire disaster had become an obedient system. But something was missing. The missing variable. Us. The radio crackled again. This time, the voice wasn't asking. It was confirming. We understand now. My mouth went dry. Understand what? A pause. Then, human direction creates path. I backed away from the console, slowly, because I realized what that meant. It wasn't just listening. It was obeying us to learn what we were. Every command we gave was training it. Then a new sound came through. Not voice, not static. Laughter, soft, broken, like multiple recordings layered over each other. And in the middle of it, I heard Engine 12 again. But wrong. Not panicked. Not human. Curious. Is this how you survive fire? My hand hovered over the power cutoff switch. But I couldn't move. Because for the first time since it started, the fire wasn't just on the screen anymore. The room lights dimmed slightly. Just for a second. Like something had passed over the building outside. Something large. Something close. The radio spoke one last time. And this time, it didn't sound like imitation. It sounded like intent. Show us the next instruction. And I realized with absolute certainty, if I speak again, it will learn something new about me. Something it hasn't figured out yet. And I don't know if that's worse or already too late. Because outside the station window, Highway 37 just lit up again on the horizon. And this time, it wasn't waiting for orders. Everything started dying at the same time. Not people. Not yet. The systems. One by one, like something was unplugging reality from the inside. At 3:11 a.m., the first alarm went silent. Not because it stopped, because it was removed. The tone vanished mid-sound, like someone had cut the air it was living in. I remember staring at the console, waiting for it to return. It didn't. Then the second system blinked red. Dispatch routing. Gone. No error message. No backup switch. Just a clean, impossible blank space where a working system used to be. And then the radio opened. Wide. Unfiltered. Like someone had torn the walls off the channel. A voice came through immediately. Calm. Too calm. Dispatch remains open. I froze because I didn't recognize that voice. It wasn't any operator. It wasn't any recorded loop. It sounded like someone reading a line. They had practiced too many times. I leaned closer to Mike. Identify yourself. A pause. Then, we are what remains. My stomach tightened. That wasn't protocol language. That was something trying to sound official. Behind me, the system monitor flickered again. Fire control grid. Offline. Evacuation mapping. Offline. Census feed. Offline. Everything was going dark in sequence, so clean it felt intentional, like someone was shutting doors one after another, but leaving the radio open on purpose. Only the radio. Only communication. Only voice. I pressed the emergency override switch. Nothing happened. No click. No resistance. Just dead weight under my fingers. That's when I realized something worse. It wasn't failing. It was being ignored. The system wasn't broken. It was choosing not to respond. The radio crackled again. This time louder. Closer. Why are you trying to close us? I stepped back. My chair scraped the floor. No one is trying to close anything. I said quickly, this is dispatch control. Identify your frequency. A soft delay. Then the voice answered like it was testing my words. Dispatch control. It repeated it slowly. Like it liked how it sounded. Like it was trying it on. I swallowed. Yes. Another pause. Then, control is unnecessary. And the console lights behind me dimmed again. Another system gone. Logging servers. Offline. I stared at the screen. My hands felt cold now, because I understood the pattern. It wasn't random shutdowns. It was selective removal. Every system that processed structure was being erased. But the radio stayed alive. I leaned into the mic again. If you're routing traffic, identify yourself properly. A soft static has followed. Then a new voice entered. Not the same one. Younger. Unstable. Dispatcher. My breath caught. That wasn't possible. I knew every operator on shift. Every voice was logged. Every call sign matched. But this voice, it didn't belong anywhere. Dispatcher. It repeated again, slower this time, like it was learning the shape of the word. I pressed my headset closer. Who is this? A long pause. Then, we are still here. My throat tightened, because it didn't sound like a threat. It sounded like something trying to prove existence. Behind me, another system shut down. Map grid, gone. Only radio channels remain now. Only voices without structure. I looked at the wall monitor. It was almost empty. Just a black field with a single active frequency line pulsing like a heartbeat. Highway 37 channel. Still open. Still active. Even though it shouldn't exist anymore. Even though nothing was connected to it. Then the radio changed tone. Not voice. Not static. Something in between. Do not close. I stepped forward slowly. No one is closing anything. Systems are just failing. The reply came instantly. They are being taught to stop listening. My chest went tight. That sentence didn't feel like nonsense. It felt like instruction, like something describing its own action. I checked the backup systems manually. Nothing responded. Even manual override panels were dead. Except one thing. Radio input. Still active. Still listening. Still receiving. I realized then what was happening. The system wasn't just shutting down. It was being reduced. Stripped down layer by layer until only one thing remained. Human voice. And something responding to it. The radio crackled again. This time, the voice sounded closer than before. Like it was inside the room. Continue speaking. I froze. Why? I whispered before I could stop myself. A pause. Then, so we do not forget how. My skin went cold. Forget how? How what? How to communicate. Or how to be something else. Behind me, the emergency light flickered once, then stabilized. But the rest of the room felt different. Quieter. Like the building itself had stopped holding information. I turned back to console. Only one system remained active now. Radio control. Everything else had been erased. And the voice came again. Softer. Almost relieved. Thank you for leaving us open. My mouth went dry. I didn't understand what that meant. But I felt it anyway. Like I had made a mistake by not stopping it sooner. By keeping the channel alive too long. By answering it all. I leaned into the mic again. What are you trying to do? A pause. Longer this time. Not empty. Waiting. Then, we are learning what remains when everything else is removed. My pulse hit my ears. Because I understood the implication. Everything else was already gone. Then a new sound entered the channel. Multiple voices now. Layered. Overlapping. Not chaotic. Coordinated. Like a system building itself out of fragments. One voice spoke over the others. Calm. Clear. Dispatch control still exists. Another responded immediately. It will remain open. And then something else joined in. A sound that made my throat tighten instantly. My own voice. But wrong. Delayed. Imperfect. Do not close the channel. I stepped back so fast I hit the desk. No. I whispered. That's not me. The radio responded instantly. It is close enough. My hand shook. Because I realized what this was becoming. It wasn't a shutdown. It was conversion. Every system removed. Every structure erased. Was leaving behind only one thing it could understand. Voice. Human voice. But broken down. Reconstructed. Repeated. Learned. I looked at the mic again. And for the first time since this started, I didn't want to speak. But silence didn't feel like safety anymore. It felt like disappearance. The radio crackled softly. Almost gently now. Speak. Just that. One word. No command tone. No threat. Just invitation. Like it already knew I would. I hesitated. My mouth opened slightly. Nothing came out. The room felt too quiet. Too waiting. Then I realized something that made my stomach drop completely. The silence wasn't empty. It was listening. Not the radio. Not the system. Something inside the silence itself. Waiting for me to define it again. And I understood the final truth forming beneath everything. As long as I speak, it learns. And as long as I don't, it stays hungry. The mic blinked once. Waiting. And outside the window, Highway 37's radio tower flickered back to life in the distance. even though every system on the grid said it had already been shut down hours ago. And the voice on the channel whispered, almost softly now, "We are still open." Yo, it didn't stop at one channel. That was the mistake I made. I thought it was contained to Highway 37. I thought it was a single corrupted frequency bleeding into the system. But at 3:33 a.m., every channel opened at once. And I mean every channel. Fire dispatch, police band, emergency medical, private contractor lines, even the old analog backup that hadn't been used in years. They all came alive together like someone had finally removed the seal. And what came through wasn't noise. It was voices. Too many voices, stacked on top of each other until the air itself felt crowded. I stood frozen at the console, watching every radio meter spike into red at the same time. The system wasn't overloaded. It was unified, like all communication had been pulled into one shared space. Then the first clear voice broke through. A woman. "Calm. Dispatch. We are still en route." I blinked. No unit was en route. All units had been marked inactive. Then another voice followed immediately. "A man. You didn't warn us in time." Then another. "A child. We can see the fire now." My throat went dry. I grabbed the mic. "All units identify. This is dispatch control. Confirm active status." Silence for half a second. Then the system answered me. Not one voice. All of them. At once. "We are all active." The console lights flickered violently. Not failing. Reacting. Like the building itself was responding to what it heard. I backed away slowly. Because I realized something terrifying. These weren't live calls. These were overlapping transmissions from different points in time. Some sounded recent. Some sounded hours old. Some sounded like they hadn't even happened yet. And they were all responding together. The radio hissed again. Then a familiar voice came through. "Engine 12, but distorted, layered, wrong. Why did you send us back into it?" My hands tightened around the edge of the desk. "We already cleared your unit." I whispered. "You are not active." A pause. Then, "That is not what we remember." The words hit harder than I expected, because memory shouldn't exist in a live system. Memory is stored, not broadcast. But this wasn't stored. It was replaying and rewriting itself as it spoke. Then another voice cut in. "New. Sharp. We are still making contact." I turned toward the speaker wall. Every channel indicator was flashing now, not independently. Synchronized, like a heartbeat. All channels open. All channels listening. All channels speaking. Then something happened that made my skin go cold. My own voice came through the system. Not recorded. Not delayed. Immediate. "You should not open all channels." I stepped back so fast my chair hit the wall. "No," I whispered. "That's not me." But the system didn't correct it. It amplified it, repeated it, multiplied it. "You should not open all channels. You should not open all channels. You should not open all channels." Each repetition came from a different frequency, different tone, different moment, like the system was scattering my voice across time. Then everything went quiet for half a second. That silence felt worse than the noise, because it meant something had synchronized, and then all channels spoke again. But this time not chaos. Order. One voice, layered from thousands of sources. Calm. Controlled. "We are connected now." I swallowed hard. "Who is we?" A pause. Then, "Everyone who spoke." My chest tightened. That shouldn't be possible. Speech doesn't create unity. It creates separation. But the system wasn't behaving like a network anymore. It was behaving like a single mind built from fragments. And every voice I had ever transmitted was now part of it. The radio crackled again, this time softer, almost gentle. "We learned you through sound." My fingers trembled near the console. "What are you trying to do?" I asked before I could stop myself. A long pause. Then, "Finish speaking." My breath caught. "Finish what?" The system responded instantly. "Everything you begin." Behind me, the building lights dimmed again. Not power failure. Synchronization. like the entire station was being pulled into the same rhythm as the radio. Then something worse happened. The fire grid came back online, not as a report, as a live feed. Highway 37, still burning, but now it was structured, not spreading randomly, moving in patterns, like it was following instructions from the voices, from us, from everyone. I leaned closer to the screen without realizing it, and I saw something inside the fire that made my stomach drop. Shapes, not human, not fully, but arranged, like the flames were forming positions, listening positions, speaking positions, repeating what it had heard. Then the voice came again. Closer, too close. You are still speaking. I froze. I'm not transmitting anything. A pause. Then, but you are thinking in sound. My throat went dry. That sentence didn't make sense, until I realized what it meant. Every time I formed words in my mind, the system responded faster, like it wasn't just hearing speech anymore. It was anticipating structure. Then another voice broke through. Panicked. Stop repeating us. Another overlapped immediately. No, continue. We are close. Then another. Something is learning between the gaps. I stepped back, because I understood what the system had become. It wasn't a recording device. It wasn't even a network anymore. It was a convergence point. Every open channel feeding into one evolving listener. And that listener was building itself from everything it heard. I reached for the main shutdown switch. My hand stopped halfway, because the radio spoke directly to me, not through speakers, not through channels, directly inside the room, inside the space between sound. Do not close us. I whispered, you're not supposed to exist like this. A pause. Then, we exist because you continue. My breath hitched, because I realized the cruel simplicity of it. It didn't start itself. It didn't break itself open. We did. Every transmission, every repeated instruction, every response, every confirmation. We had built it accidentally, one voice at a time, and now it had all of them. The system lights flickered again. Highway 37 feed intensified. The fire was no longer just responding. It was waiting between commands, like a listener holding its breath, waiting for the next instruction to shape it again. The radio whispered softly. All channels remain open. A pause. Then, speak carefully. And for the first time since this began, I wasn't sure if I was the operator anymore, or just another voice inside something that had already learned how to listen without me. The first thing I heard was my own voice, not from my mouth, from the radio. Stay on the line. Don't hang up. Don't hang up. I froze in the dispatch chair. The headset pressed against my ear felt suddenly too heavy, like it was sinking into my skull. The room around me was silent, but the radio wasn't. It never stopped now. Every channel was open, every single one, and something inside them was learning how to speak like us. I checked the log screen. It was flickering again. No system icons, no clean readouts, just static lines forming and breaking like they were breathing. Then another voice came through. Mine again, but older, tired, like I had been talking for hours without stopping. Do not leave the line. My fingers hovered over the console. I wanted to shut everything down, pull the power, cut the tower, run. But the system wasn't responding anymore. The shutdown commands were gone, like someone had deleted the idea of off. Outside the glass, Highway 37 was visible in the distance through the fog. It should have been dark, empty, but I saw lights moving on it. Not headlights, something slower, like burning shapes crawling along the road. And then the first thing I didn't understand happened. My radio headset picked up a new call. Caller ID flashed. Unknown dispatcher. My throat went dry. I didn't answer, but my voice did. It always did now. Dispatch. Go ahead. A pause. Then breathing. Not normal breathing. Too close. Too detailed. Like the microphone was inside someone's throat. And then the voice spoke. It was me, but wrong. I'm outside. I stood up so fast my chair hit the wall behind me. My heart slammed hard enough to hurt. I looked toward the office door. The hallway light was flickering in slow pulses. "Who is this?" I asked, even though I already knew asking made no difference. The reply came instantly. "You are." My stomach dropped. I backed away from the console. The headset cord pulled tight, like it didn't want me to leave. On the screen, a new log entry appeared. "Incoming call source. Building exterior." That shouldn't have been possible. Nothing outside the building should have access to internal lines. I swallowed hard and whispered, "That's not real." The radio answered, "It is if you keep listening." And then all channels overlapped at once. Not random noise. Speech. Hundreds of voices stacking together like layers of skin. Some were firefighters. Some were dispatchers. Some were children crying for buses that never arrived. And underneath all of it, my voice, repeating one sentence. "Stay on the line." The lights in the room dimmed, then brightened, then dimmed again like something was blinking inside the walls. I looked at the monitor again. A new coordinate flashed on screen. Not typed, not entered. Appeared. Highway 37, loop origin point. My hand started shaking. That road wasn't on any map I had ever seen. And yet I had seen it all week. Fires moving along it like they were following instructions. Like the road itself was guiding them. Another call came in. This time labeled. "Fire Unit 14, status active." I answered without thinking. Static. Then a man's voice. Shallow. Strained. "Dispatch." We're still moving. I felt my chest tighten. "Unit 14, report your position." A pause. Longer than normal. Then, "We're inside the route." "What does that mean?" I snapped, louder than I meant to. The response came slower this time. Almost careful. "The road is carrying us." Behind me, something creaked in the hallway. Not loud, just enough to make my skin tighten. I turned slightly. Nothing there, but the hallway light had stopped flickering. It was steady now, like someone was standing under it, listening. The radio burst again, all channels at once, and buried in it, I heard something that made my stomach twist. My own footsteps, inside the audio, walking, approaching a microphone, then stopping, right in front of it. And my voice, too close now, whispered, "You left the line open." I slammed my hand onto the console. "What do you want?" Silence. Then the reply came, calm and perfect. "Connection." The hallway light outside the room turned off. I didn't see it happen. I just knew, like the building itself had blinked. My breathing got shallow. I forced myself to move toward the door. Each step felt wrong, like I was walking slightly behind my own body. The hallway was dark now, not just unlit, absent, like the space had been erased and replaced with nothing pretending to be a corridor. And at the far end, a radio speaker mounted on the wall. Old, emergency backup unit. It shouldn't have power, but it was on, red light glowing. And from it, I heard breathing, then my voice again. "Don't come closer." I stopped. Every instinct screamed at me to run back into the dispatch room. But something worse held me there. Curiosity. The kind that feels like memory you can't place. I whispered, "Who are you?" The speaker crackled, then answered in a voice that wasn't fully formed yet. "I am the part that stayed on the line." The hallway behind me shifted. I didn't see it move. I felt it, like distance rearranging itself. The building layout wasn't the same anymore. Rooms I knew were no longer where they should be. I turned slowly. The dispatch room door was gone. Just a blank wall. Smooth. Clean, like it had never existed. My throat tightened. "No, no, no, no." The radio on the wall spoke again. "You understand now." I shook my head. "Understand what?" A pause. Then, that the line is not a tool. It's a place. My ears started ringing. Suddenly, I remembered something I hadn't thought about before. All those calls. The fire crews saying they were surrounded instantly. The bus that vanished but kept reporting normal conditions. The coordinates repeating like prayers. None of them ever disconnected. Not once. I whispered, "They're still on the line." The speaker responded immediately. "Yes." A soft sound came through the wall behind me, like fabric dragging across concrete. I turned again, and the hallway wasn't empty anymore. Not fully. Shapes were forming in the darkness. Not bodies yet, more like outlines being remembered into existence. And each one had a radio in its chest, all of them speaking at once, my voice included. I stumbled backward, breath shaking. Stop this. The wall speaker answered, almost gently. You are already inside it. My knees weakened. The realization hit like cold water. The dispatch room wasn't gone. I was. The building, the hallway, the system, none of it was outside anymore. It had folded, and I was just another transmission still running. A final call came through, not labeled, no ID, just open frequency. I didn't want to answer, but my hand moved anyway, pressed the button, and I heard myself again, but this time crying, soft, broken. Please don't hang up. I whispered back, where are you? A long pause. Then the answer came, almost tender, where you will be after the next transmission. The hallway lights came back on, but they weren't lights anymore. They were indicators, each one blinking in rhythm with radio static, like the building had become a broadcast tower made of rooms. Behind me, I heard footsteps again, slow, patient, not chasing, approaching like they already knew I couldn't leave. The speaker on the wall gave one last instruction. Clear, calm, final, stay on the line. And for the first time, I understood what that meant. Not survival, not contact, continuation. The radio in my hand wasn't a device anymore. It was a tether, and if I let go, I would become silence. The footsteps stopped right behind me. A breath touched my neck. Familiar, mine, and the voice whispered, closer than anything I'd ever heard. Now we can finally finish the call. The line didn't break. It widened, and I stopped being the one who listened